be a little loud too much.
All right,
Oh,
are you ready?
all right. Yep, let's do it.
2, 1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the third episode of the Manny and Brian podcast. I'm your host, Brian. I'm here with my host, Manny. Say hello to the people.
Yo, what's good, people? We back. And we
We
got a lot to
are
say.
back. Ooh, we got some things to say. If you saw my Instagram earlier today, I am about to put a firestorm on a company that has failed me many times, but I cannot take longer.
Failed
And I will,
us.
yes, failed to both of us. So I will get into that soon. But I want to give you quick updates on what's going on in the channel and what's coming up your way, and then we'll get right into it. So, update. So, Wednesday now is our free day after moving the company that's basically failed us. We decided to make Wednesday either a break day or your raw reactions. So, raw reactions, depending on how we feel and how we feel we want to give you guys the information, we'll either do it Tuesday or Wednesday. But most likely to give us a day for us to process and take a breather, probably Wednesday. So Wednesday, no doubt, will be your day. You see our raw reactions, no matter what. So, so now instead of Tuesday, guaranteed, because sometimes it will be Tuesday. There will be times where we do a special Tuesday. It's happened before, but the guaranteed date I can give you is Wednesday. The only time it gets pushed to Thursday if Manny has to go do something or I can't make it and we got to move the date. But we always let y'all know about that. But I just want to say officially now, raw reactions for Netflix will be Wednesdays. Because now, again, Dynamite is now off the table. So don't worry about that. And I also want to add, before we get into the rant and everything, we are officially adding a new company into the rotation. And I'm very grateful that I'm adding this one. Me and Manny have decided we are going to be having a brand new home as our second brand. Now, yes, technically you would say, oh, is it NXT your second brand? I mean, sure. But again, that's a WWE owned brand. So technically we could talk about it both and it still counts. So that doesn't really count. What I mean is a separate brand.
Equal. They're
They're
technically
equal.
WWE and
It's
NXT.
owned by WWE. It might not be, ran by Triple H, but it's ran by his buddy, Shawn Michaels. So technically, yes, does NXT feel like its own brand? It does. But it's a WWE property. So technically, it doesn't count. What do I mean by a second brand? Well, me and Manny have been conversating going into the new year that we want to add an extra brand that we want to really focus on. And it's a brand that I've been watching little here and there, and the product's really good. Their matches are fantastic. Their storytelling's really good. There's a few people I don't like on there. But again, no one's perfect. So, and we could always talk about those. But I want to say now officially, coming to the channel very, very soon, we are adding the TNA brand. Impact, formerly now TNA Wrestling, the legendary guys like Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Frankie Kazarian, those kind of names, we're going to be honoring them with the new TNA with guys like Moose, Trey Miguel, Rascals, Hardy Boys, Joe Hendry, and many more. Nick Nemeth. We're going to be talking about them a lot. So if you see a lot of TNA stuff on this brand, on this channel, you understand why. Because we needed something to replace the unfortunate brand that happened. And I think TNA is the perfect brand to do it. They're on a hot streak right now. We didn't talk about this, but they did do the partnership officially with WWE and NXT, which is going swimmingly right now. Masha Slamovic and Cora Jade is set up. The Rascals are set to fight on TNA's first live show against Fraxium, one of my favorite tag teams in all of WWE. That's going to be a banger. Joe Hendry just won the world title. Yeah, did you hear the news? Joe Hendry just won the world title from Nick Nemeth. So, big stuff going on in TNA. A lot of shifts right now. But I think it's the perfect opportunity to add it to the channel. So you will get pay-per-view reactions for TNA. And if there's some big special shows, we will also try to react to them as well. So tons of TNA product coming to the show, to the channel, which I'm very excited about. Their next show they're doing, I believe, is Sacrifice. I believe is next, and then their next pay-per-view, their big one is Rebellion in April. So we'll probably do a reaction for Rebellion, And we might even do a mini review for Sacrifice for you guys if you guys want. So, but we're very giddy. We're very excited for this year. TNA looking like a really strong brand this year, even with a few people that have made some wrongs. They're still showing that they're still incredible athletes. So I'm really excited to talk about TNA more this year. Me and Manny are stoked. We're excited, and we can't wait to begin talking about it. So that content is coming to you guys very soon. So watch for the channel. Keep an eye out.
Let's just hand clap that, for a while, because the partnership is finally here between WWE and TNA.
Yes.
I'm sure we've never thought in a million years where we'll be sitting here and saying WWE and TNA have a partnership. After many years of supposedly TNA being the secondary promotion, the secondary promotion for a long time, and then after a while it changed to Impact. After a while, again, some of those years were bad, but eventually some of those years turned out to be good with the former manager of TNA, Scott D'Amore. Shout out to him as well.
Shout out Scott, Maple Leaf Pro, if you guys know.
And Maple Leaf Pro, that new promotion too. And now, sad that Scott D'Amore is no longer a part of TNA as he is starting his own promotion. But, TNA has so far been in, good hands so far. Some of the decisions haven't been, one decision basically hasn't been all that. But, I mean, over the last few days, that decision might come to change. We'll talk about that. Me and Brian will definitely be talking about that more, probably in this episode. But But the thing is now, the dream has come true. The dream stipulations, the dream matches, the dream stars that we could see fight in WWE and in TNA are now a reality. Whether if you're on the main roster of Raw and SmackDown, or you're on NXT, or if you're on TNA, the dream has came true after many years.
Yeah, something I would have ever thought in a million years. WWE, Triple H, and Shawn Michaels working with TNA and their executives. Yeah, I would never thought it. But they said it themselves. They want TNA stars to promote themselves more. That's what TNA is getting out of this. That's the big win for them. They're going to have more promotion to some of these stars. Like, women in NXT can promote TNA stars and vice versa. So it's really going to be fun. And there's even potentially tentative plans right now of a lot of TNA guys in the Rumble coming up, because the Royal Rumble's around the corner. And there's a potential chance a lot of big TNA guys could make their debut in the Rumble as kind of a gift from the TNA and from the WWE for us fans to see some TNA guys face some WWE guys in the main roster and NXT. So this partnership looks like it's going to be a very healthy and long relationship. And I'm super excited for TNA now with this partnership now officially set in stone. Because again, there was tricklets of it. Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, Frankie Kazarian. But again, it wasn't truly official until, they made it official. So now they've actually written on paper that the partnership is wide open. And already at the pay-per-view, which, by the way, I recommend everyone going to watch Genesis. I thought Genesis was a fantastic pay-per-view. They had a couple NXT inclusions. They had Fraxium and they had Cora Jade. So it's just the beginning. Very little, but just the beginning. I expect it to expand more and more as we head into the new year. So something to keep in mind as we go along. So it's going to be fun. But yeah, that's our big announcement. TNA is now joining the channel. We'll be talking about it way more. You guys will be seeing more content from us when it comes to TNA. So should be fun. TNA is now our second home, so it's going to be fun to talk about. Other stuff going on tomorrow. We're going to be doing a very interesting test tomorrow. We're going to be doing our first predictions. We have not done predictions on the channel yet because we've been waiting for the right time. And it looks like...
But this is it. This is it. This is the right time to do it.
This is the right time to do it because WWE's doing a really special, fun little show on Saturday. It's called Saturday Night's Main Event, of course. And they got a loaded card for Saturday Night's Main Event. Honestly, better than the first one. I thought the first one was pretty loaded. But this one is leaps and bounds way better than the first one.
The revamp first one because, the early years, when they brought it in the early 1990s, this was, a concept of, Saturday night wrestling, more fun and more, wrestling than ever before. Some of your favorite superstars, this and that. Yeah. Then eventually they, I think, had it until like the early, maybe, in the Ruthless Aggression era, because they did bring it back for that while, though, too.
Yeah.
It was good for while it lasted, but then they took a break from that for a very long time, and now Triple H is deciding to bring it back, more revamped, more refreshed, and just like it was, not only with your favorite superstars, but Saturday Night Wrestling for any matches and more build up to more stories.
Yeah.
And bigger and better than ever.
Yeah, no, generally, it's for real, because I remember, like, when they used to do it for, like, the house shows, they would have Saturday Night's Main Event, but it really wasn't big. It was just for live events. They didn't really branch out until the New York show in Uniondale at the Nassau Coliseum. That's where everything kind of changed, and everything kind of flipped on its head, that now Saturday Night's Main Event's going to be a little special they do sprinkle out throughout the months. So, like, this month they're going to San Antonio, Texas, and they're having a big contract signing with Shawn Michaels there. They're also going to have Gunther versus Jey Uso and Nia Jax versus Rhea. Rhea's first defense since winning the championship. And you're also getting a big, beefy monster fight between Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu of the Bloodline. Crazy, but insanity. So it's going to be a crazy card, but I just want to announce that we are going to be doing a test run of predictions to get us ready for Royal Rumble. This is our little test. And how does predictions work? Well, I'll keep it real simple. So obviously me and Manny will be picking predictions when I talk about the story and everything. I always break down the story. And then basically we'll pick predictions who we think is going to win. The winner with the most predictions will win that week's predictions. And as the year goes by, I'll be keeping tally of how many predictions we win per year. At the end of the year, under $20 to $10, you must buy someone a gift. If it's a shirt or something you see on WWE Shop, you buy them a gift. And again, you could save that gift for when you do get the funds. You don't have to do it immediately. You could basically save it if you want. But just remember, you have to get that person a gift before the end of next year. If you don't, it's going to keep adding on until you get the person the gift, which we don't want to get people 3 gifts. We don't want to do that. So make sure it gets done before the next year after. So right now it's 2025. 2026, you have to have the gift in the person's hand, depending on who wins. So then the year after that, 2026, 2027, and it just goes on and on and on until we stop doing predictions, which is probably not going to be for a while. So basically, that's kind of the rules. And that'll go for every big pay-per-view, specials, and now, I guess this year, TNA pay-per-views will now start counting. So if we do a TNA pay-per-view, predictions is on the line, no matter what it is. So WWE, TNA, maybe a mix of New Japan, all those shows, we'll tally them all up by the end of the day, and then we'll see who wins at the end of the year. And we'll do an award show, and we'll announce the winner of who won predictions this year. So it's going to be a fun year. So that's how the predictions work. But what are we going to do in the background while we talk about predictions? Well, me and Manny, just for funsies, we're going to hop on 2K24, or maybe even 25 later in the year, where we're just going to play a fun match, but it's going to be the simulated match that we're talking about. So let's say we do Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman. He'll have a Jacob, I'll have a Braun Strowman, or whoever has it, and we'll just do a match. We'll just have some fun. We'll do some spots while we talk about the match itself and everything like that. And it'll continue like that until the whole card is done. Once the whole card is done, that's it. It's done. Now, it might be a little harder if we do it with the Royal Rumble. We'll have to figure out an alternative for that. But we'll get there when we'll get there. We'll get there when we'll get there. But that's like a week or 2 out, so we still got time to plan that. But yeah, so predictions is tomorrow, first test. We're doing a first test for Saturday Night's Main Event. It's a small card. I think it's like 3-4 matches, and then there's also a segment. So it's not too big, but it's a good test for us to see how we feel about doing predictions, letting us play the match while we talk about the matches and see how we got to work out the bugs and see how it works. Because again, we could always change it. If you guys rather see the CPU do it, you could always tell us, give us feedback. We always love to change. We always love to switch things, tweak things. Hell, me and Manny talk every day. What should we change? What should we tweak? We're always changing things. We're not a people where we just stay samey and kind of just bleh, like continue to be bland.
Because we don't want to, stay the same. We want to evolve.
Nope. We want to evolve.
Be better for you guys, especially.
Yeah.
Because that's what we are. We are part. We are here to please you, and not just for that also, but to talk about what our community, what the wrestling community is all about, and that's love for professional wrestling.
That is absolutely correct. So You're absolutely right about that. So yeah, so reminder, tomorrow if you see the channel go live, I'll even post it on my Instagram beforehand. Follow me on my Instagram, and also follow Manny as well on his Instagram.
Yes.
We'll be putting in the link in the description, and obviously, of course, on my story and everything. I'll post what time we'll go live for that. And just note, it is a prediction. It is not the CPU playing. It's going to be us playing, but we're going to pretend that it's just we're playing. We're just going to pretend we're playing, and we'll talk about the matches, talk about story. We'll go through the whole thing. So it's going to be a fun time tomorrow. First little test of predictions for the year, and it's going to be fun. So, but yeah, just want to announce a few quick little announcements and what's going on. So what does that mean for Friday and Saturday? Oh, that kind of stays the same because we're going to be adding SmackDown soon to the list. We're just kind of working out the dates for that. But SmackDown, we'll be adding that soon. That's staying the same, either the Friday after or Saturday. We could do Friday Night SmackDown, do a quick little review on it. We could do that as well. Maybe add some news depending on what's going on in the world of wrestling, because there's always news in the world of wrestling. So we could always do that. But yeah, and then obviously for Sundays, that'll obviously be a break day because either a pay-per-view is going on or we just finished watching a WWE pay-per-view and we'll review it Monday situation. So yeah, but that's all the announcements. That's everything. Yeah, now let's get to the content. Let's start with the rant.
Sir.
Oh boy. So
Oh boy.
last night, okay, me and Manny finished up. Well, actually, no, it wasn't last night. It was Monday night. Monday night after Raw, I called him and said, "Hey, Well, actually, no. We watched the Raw and said, "Hey, what you think about it?" He's like, "Yeah, no, Raw was great. Raw was great. I had a lot of fun. Penta had a great match, and I was like, yeah, you're right.
10 out of
And
10.
everything, it was great.
Every Raw has
great.
delivered, I think, so far already in this new era. There has not been a bad Raw yet.
No, not at all. If anything, they've just
yet.
continued to get hotter. That's the crazy part. You would think it would cool
Yeah.
off. No, they've not cooled off yet. There have been hot shows. So shout out to Monday Night Raw on Netflix. They know what they're doing over there. So but yeah, like I said, we were talking about the show. And then he had the audacity to bring up that evil word that I'm very bitter about recently. All Elite.
God. I mean, honestly, ever since we watched that show, a lot of bullshit happened.
A lot of BS. But my point is basically he wanted me to get my thoughts on the whole All Elite thing and asked me questions. Why did I go off on messages at him, even though, again, no offense, I didn't want to. I just had to let out my frustrations with this fucking company. So my bad. But again, I was justified. Like, even Manny agreed. No, we feel for you, bro.
It wasn't just that, though. It wasn't just that, because when I just finished watching that Maximum Carnage show,
yes,
I had to say that it was trash.
And usually Manny is very open. Like, he's been getting more open by the day. He was very close to the chest, but when he sees an open-minded show and he says, "Oh, you know what? That was a decent show. That was an okay show," or "Oh, that was fantastic, great show," he'll be honest about it. But when he says something is shit, he will be honest about you. He will tell you, "Bro, that shit was garbage. That shit was not good. Not good." The amount of honesty he's told me with the whole boxing thing, I respect this so much, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. Like, the amount of shit he talks about when it comes to boxing, I fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But when it came to this Maximum Carnage show, which, really, had potential to be at least a solid card.
Sure.
But I felt that there was no effort done with this show. The matches were trash. There was a little bit of story build, but it just could not save the show for shit.
No, it really couldn't.
And to be honest, I was a little, well, not nervous, but a little like mixed on what he would say. But as soon as he said, "Listen, I don't know if I can watch AEW any longer," I was like, "Good." Wow. I was shocked.
Surprise.
I was like, wow. Okay, good.
Yeah. Because again, I am a man of, I just like to enjoy stuff. I like to enjoy wrestling because there's all types of wrestling. And AEW back then was that kind of alternative that I always wanted. An alternative that's like pure wrestling, good story, and just great matches. And that's what All Elite was around 2019 to 2020. During even the pandemic, it was better than WWE at the time because even with no fans, they had fun with it. They had backstage brawls. They had crazy cinematic matches. They had Hardy compound matches. They had fucking Stadium Stampede. Like they had so much cool shit. So I was like, this is fantastic. I wonder what's gonna happen when fans come back. Oh, they got CM Punk? Oh, that's fucking amazing. Holy shit, they got Phil. Amazing. So I'm like, hey, AEW's going up. Unfortunately, Punk's kind of run got injured, unfortunately, because, again, he was a lot older. He didn't get in the ring for a while. Yeah. He didn't train as much. It's hard to get back in the ring after 7 years. It's not easy. So I gave him a breather. I was like, oh, he's hurt. It is what it is. They're going to give it to Moxley. All right, even though I didn't agree with the way they did it, I kind of understand. Again, this was a Moxley choice. This was not Tony's choice. This was a Moxley choice. I was like, all right, interesting choice, Moxley. I'll hear you out. I'll let it play out. But just know, I felt a little weird about that. But again, Punk was injured, so I kind of have to balance the yin and yang, if you know what I mean. So I let it play out. Then CM Punk goes in the feud with Hangman. I'm like, oh, this could be a cool feud. But the way they introduced it was a mad shoot that was mad awkward. I was like, are we doing a feud here, or is just Hangman shooting over here? What are we doing here? Like, what the fuck are we doing here? I was so confused. Because, listen, a Hangman and CM Punk feud on paper, like, that shit sounded crazy at the time. I was like, yes, 100% do that feud. But again, the way they introduced it was not planned. It was not planned at all. That episode in New Orleans was not planned. So it already started to a rocky start. It is what it is. Then we actually get the match with Hangman and Punk in Vegas, and that match was amazing. It was a great match, great championship match, and Punk finally won the world title back the right way. But unfortunately, the night after on Wednesday when he teamed up with CMFVR, he tore his leg. He tore his leg. Unlucky. Unfortunately, unlucky. Oh, yeah. I forgot to also mention, because again, I'm only talking about Punk here to really hammer on this. I'm one of the few people that actually really enjoyed the Kenny Omega collecting all the belts. I thought that was a really fun story because a lot of people don't do it as much. Like they always have the meme of Triple H being the belt collector. I thought that was always a funny meme. So the fact that Kenny got a chance to do it, it's fucking hilarious, but also really
and I
epic.
think it was cool, and it was probably one of the best times for Kenny Omega, in my personal opinion.
Oh, no, 100%. When he was healthy and he was doing the belt collector, then he started losing each title, but he lost it to really good people. Like he lost to Christian on a debut episode of Rampage. He lost the other title in Mexico to Vikingo, which is also a good opponent to lose to. And then he kept the AEW title for a while. He even had the title when he was fighting with Danielson. After he lost to Hangman, it was him and Danielson because Bryan Danielson joined the company. Like, oh, Bryan Danielson joined the company. And then Adam Cole joined the company. We're like, oh, shit. The guys from WWE that were treated like shit, hey, let's get them in here. So they bought Danielson, they bought Cole. And I was like, W picks. So I knew at that point, I was like, hey, these are some W pickups right here. I think AEW's got something cooking. And they did. Oh, and we watched it live because that was Punk's return match against Darby. Literally, after that match and the main event happened, all you see is Adam Cole. And you're like, holy shit, Adam Cole's here. So we're like, all right, what else does AEW have? And then you hear Bryan Danielson, you're like, what? How did they get both of them in here? Because they're like, I would have been satisfied with just Cole. Because again, I think Cole and AEW is a lot better idea at the time. Because again, Cole wanted freedom. He wanted to do something cool. Because Vince was going to set him up to do a manager and not wrestle. And that's not what Cole wants to do, basically. So Cole went to AEW for a good reason. And then Danielson came out, I'm like, Tony's cooking because he just got Bryan Danielson, who's another high free agent. Because Danielson could have totally retired. Danielson could have went to a different company. He could have stayed with WWE if he wanted to. But no, he said, I'm going to All Elite. Fair enough. And it again, in the beginning half of the run, and I would actually say Danielson's the one exception. I was like, hey, his AEW run was pretty good. I can't lie. If there's one guy they got right, it was Bryan Danielson. They got his run correct, I think. So that's one guy I can give a pass. Cole, on the other hand, such a mixed bag, it's not even funny. But is it Cole's fault? No, it's not Cole's fault. He got hurt, just like Punk. Same situation, got hurt. It sucks, but it's true. He got hurt. It is what it is. He got hurt. So, but at that point, AEW, I want to say around, I think it was like 2022, I believe it was, they were cooking. They were doing shows. They were doing numbers. They were growing. They were having Maxwell and CM Punk do promos every week. Dude, if you want to see the best television, you watch AEW. You watch AEW. A lot of my friends were even watching AEW because like, yo, we want to see this shit. We want to see this quality. And the wrestling was still good too. Like the wrestling was still good. The women were getting a lot of attention still. The men's division was starting to pop off. The TNT division was starting to start up again. It was looking really good for the future. It really was. Like 2019 to 2022 AEW and a little bit into 2023, the brand was looking fantastic.
It was one of the best times of the year, though.
Oh my god, yeah. Especially since WWE was still rebuilding. Yeah. Like, oh my god. Like, it was...
Yeah, definitely.
I was hell fucking yeah.
Yeah, no, it was definitely an amazing time. But unfortunately, controversy struck.
Yeah.
The brawler.
And before we get to that, there are a couple notable names that went to WWE at this point, specifically American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. He basically left the company. He was one of the owners of the brand with Tony and Kenny and the Bucks. He said, "I'm out. I need out." And again, Tony didn't shut his contract. He just let his contract expire. He said, "You know what? You don't want to resign? That's okay. Take your talent somewhere else. It's okay." Because then we got one of the greatest we got one of the coolest WrestleMania moments with Cody Rhodes accepting Seth Rollins' open challenge. I know, crazy. And we kind of know the rest is history from there.
And they delivered probably one of the best matches in WrestleMania in years.
Oh, and they had one of the craziest feuds as well. The match at WrestleMania Backlash, just as good as the first one. And then the one in Hell in a Cell with the torn pec. Damn! God damn! It still gives me goosebumps.
More
Jesus.
brutal. Yeah, no. And I mean, again, that feud developed to probably one of the best feuds of that year, in my personal opinion.
No, that was the one thing WWE had going for him was Cody Rhodes. Like Cody Rhodes,
yes, at that.
Cody Rhodes, Roman, Bloodline,
and the Fiend, maybe.
The Fiend, a little bit of Bray, I would say.
A little bit of Bray,
but I would say Roman and Cody were the two main things going on that I was like, okay, I'm still watching WWE just for these two because I want to see what they're doing. And weirdly enough, Vince wasn't booking Cody crazy like I thought they would. Like I thought he was going to be like pushed, but really after Cody's injury, it kind of that year it was a wash. Unfortunately, it was a wash for Cody. But then something changed in WWE before we get to the brawler. Then something changed in WWE. A new management came in. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H took the helm of WWE and ran with it. They did a SummerSlam, One More Hurrah Vince show, and they made Brock Lesnar and Roman a goated match. I know, crazy. But that match was nuts. Fucking tractor, bro. That just tells you how crazy Triple H was. Regardless. Straight bonkers. But then Triple H starts to get better. WWE starts getting better attendance. WWE starts getting better matches. We start getting more talent. Chad Gable starts getting booked more. And now WWE's starting on the up and up. Well, what's going on in All Elite? Well, there's a bit of a controversy. During that time, CM Punk finished a really good main event with, I believe, who the hell, was it Moxley? I think he fought Mox. I think it was Mox at the time.
Yes, it was Moxley.
And Punk was set to win the title again. And he did win the championship for a second time. And it looked like he was about to start his run, maybe as a heel Punk or something, because Maxwell Jacob Friedman came back because he had contract problems. So we were like, is he going to leave? Nope, he comes back. Even though he was not under contract at the time, he came back. Maxwell came back, and Maxwell wants CM Punk. And it looked like we were going to get the rematch, but this time for the AEW World Championship, because they already had the dog collar match and the match in Chicago, which Maxwell won via roll-up, cheap way. And then Punk won the dog collar, of course, because of Wardlow, and finally Wardlow breaking out with Maxwell. So that all happens. But then the post-media scrum happens, and this is where the curse of the post-media scrums begins. First person on, well, it's Punk, because Punk just finished a match. And at first, Punk was just having a I think it's like a muffin or something, just eating like a donut or something. Because again, he's hungry, he's just eating something. And then he basically, he starts getting questions. And at first, Punk answers them pretty normally, normal answers. But then he starts saying the names of the EVPs, and then stuff picks up quickly. He starts trashing on the Colt Cabana stuff. He starts crashing on the EVPs. He starts crashing on a little bit on Tony. And it just turns into this whole rant of just straight up just dead weight, like just straight up beef that Punk had on his mind at the time. Like, he just cooked everybody. Like, nobody was safe. Yeah. No one in management, no EVP was safe in this conversation. I was like, oh shit.
It was
this was not planned. This was not planned, wasn't it? Like
pipe bomb part 2.
Literally pipe bomb part 2, but even more bitter. Because at least the pipe bomb, he did it in front of a whole crowd, and it got a massive reaction. But that one was in front of media, the people that talk about the brand. Holy shit, that is ballsy by Punk. But Punk had something on his mind. So then that finishes, and I'm like, well, that was not only very confusing, but also very scary. I wouldn't want to mess with an angry Punk. So then Jericho comes up, because Jericho was next. Jericho comes up. He speaks about his match. I forgot who the hell he was facing that night. I forgot who he was facing, but Jericho was fighting that night.
Yeah. Did he fight Brian? No, Brian Danielson, I think.
Did he fight Brian? He might have. I forgot.
I think he did for the last time. I think. I think
he fought Brian. Again, my point is Jericho was fighting, but this is when Jericho was in shape. This was Jericho when he was still fighting good. Like, this is after New Japan Jericho, like good Jericho. Like, you want to see Jericho wrestle situation. So that happens, and after Jericho leaves, we start hearing reports from Fightful and other sources that a brawl has happened, and we're like, what? So while the Jericho interview was happening, a brawl is going in the back between the EVPs, CM Punk, his dog Larry, and Kenny Omega. And there's also a couple of the wrestlers to break it up, of course. But there's a whole brawl, and we're like, excuse me?
Like, here's the thing, though, with this. It was just with the Young Bucks and Punk. Kenny Omega had nothing to do with this.
No,
This was also about Hangman Page. So, of course, the Young Bucks, in a way, were defending their friend.
They felt the ways. They felt the ways to how Punk handled the Hangman situation, and it looked like they were just going to try to chat it up. And at first, it was just more of a heated conversation, apparently. It was just very heated, very hot. It was like, okay, a lot of heat is going on right now. But then it turned into hands. Hands were thrown, punches were thrown, and then since dogs get really scared of reactions, Larry was backstage for the appearance. Larry dog was a guest. Punk brought him in as a guest because everybody wanted to see Larry because Larry's a good boy. Larry's a good boy. So what happens? But again, dogs get really scared when their owner gets attacked. So Kenny Omega, Kenny Omega, the GOAT, took a hit for Punk's dog. He basically got bit by Larry's dog, but he got him out of the way so he didn't get hurt. So shout out Kenny Omega. That dude is a GOAT for that. Yeah. Don't let the animals get harmed.
No. That was just a very chaotic situation. Luckily, Kenny Omega's instincts kicked in, and shout out to Kenny because. And shout out to Punk because I think even Punk said, I will respect Kenny Omega for what he did.
Yeah, no, and other interviews after the fact that happened, basically, Punk basically said, I have no beef with Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega saved my dog, no beef, which, fair enough, I respect that. That's your pet at the end of the day. Make sure the animal's safe in the assistance. So that happens. Then, about, I want to say a week goes by, we hear more information on how the fight started, and it's just a whole lot of gaga. It's a whole lot of talk. It's like, oh my goodness, why did this lead to this?
A whole breakdown.
It was crazy. So then AEW had to scramble a little bit. So what did they do? Well, they had their first Grand Slam the second Grand Slam coming up in New York, which I was there for. I could account.
I was there too.
A lot of scrambling, but they announced a Tournament of Champions. And we're like, ooh, a Tournament of Champions sounds amazing. They put some of the top AEW guys in a Tournament of Champion. The winner will become the new vacant AEW World Champion because Punk is done. Punk was basically suspended for an endowed time. We didn't know how long, but he was suspended. And the Young Bucks were also suspended, but they came back a little later on in the year. But they were suspended. Kenny was not suspended. He was just kind of away because of injuries. So Kenny was not on TV either. And Kenny was set to return with the Young Bucks anyway. So he kind of just stayed off TV. He could have came back sooner, but Kenny was like, I'll stay back. So they all stay back. And then we have the Tournament of Champions. Tournament of Champions happened. Really good tournament. I thought Danielson was going to get it done. He didn't. Moxley won in front of my eyes, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I can live with Moxley winning here. We need a champion. Moxley's going to have a good run with that world title. And he actually did. His reign with that world title was actually pretty good. So kudos to Moxley for being the locker room leader and kicking everyone in the ass and saying, hey, even with the whole situation, we got to move past it and focus on the product. And I was like, that's the way you do it. That's leadership right there. Shout out to Moxley, Jericho, and Danielson at the time for kicking the roster in the ass, saying, let's just give these people a show. That's good leadership right there. That's good veteranship right there. So that happens, and it looks like AEW is finally going back on the up and up, even after everything, even though Punk's gone. I mean, Maxwell's getting spotlight, Moxie's getting spotlight, Danielson's getting spotlight. More names are starting to sign. There's like little signings here and there that are solid. Nothing too crazy though. No, nothing too big. But still some nice signings. You know what I mean? There was also at the time, I think the Christian Cage and Jack Perry storyline was starting up, which was going to be heel Christian Cage for the first time in a long time, which is something we've all craved. So you could tell the storytelling in AEW, even without Punk, was really good. The roster's so stacked. The storytelling's really good. And hell, they just added Malachi. Yeah, they added Malachi to the brand. So Malachi was going to start getting some love with him and Brody and Buddy. So overall, the brand was kicking ass, is what I'm trying to say. Even with Punk gone, the brand was kicking ass. They were doing some good stories, some good TV. Even though it felt a little empty without Punk, it still was doing well, even without Punk. So it showed they didn't really need Punk if necessary. But then a shift happened. So a year goes by. AEW changes its colors. They go to like this blue-ish color, or whatever it is. And now a rumor is set that there's another show coming that's not Rampage, and that's not Dark. Another show, but this time on TNT because they moved to TBS. Collision. I'm like, okay, Collision. It's interesting. So at the WB meetings, they announced a poster of AEW Collision on Saturday nights. And we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. Saturday Night's Wrestling. There's a lot of guys that have not been there. Like Miro wasn't there. Thunder Rosa wasn't there. Scorpio Sky wasn't there. And they were all promoted that they're going to go on another brand, almost like a soft brand split almost. Which is something I think at the time AEW needed because their roster was way too big. So a lot of the cool names, guys like Malachi, guys like House of Black, guys like FTR, CM Punk, and guys like that went to the other brand, while Dynamite is still the main brand that you do storytelling and big matches, stuff like that. But Collision was going to be like a big deal. Like they had great commentators like Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness. They signed Nigel. Like hearing this, Manny, like we were like, hey, this could be a big brand. Like this is Collision is like it could be good. Like it could be good.
Yeah, it has potential.
Like it has potential. At the time. So then that happens, and then we get the announcement. After months of being suspended and not hearing a word from Mr. Phil, they put Phil back on TV. So they lifted his suspension. Him and Tony had a conversation, and he said, come to the Collision brand. And Punk agreed. Punk said, all right, I'll come back to AEW, but me and the EVPs and Kenny, we not good. We're gonna split the roster. And Tony said, that's fine. So now Punk goes with his guys, so he goes with FTR, he goes with Darby, he goes with Miro, he goes with Thunder Rosa, and that brand, while the Dynamite guys, so Kenny, Young Bucks, House, the Death Triangle,
House of Black,
and then House of Black goes back and forth. They'll go to Collision, they'll go to Dynamite, and they'll kind of switch off each other. And I can't lie, for the first, I want to say like 9-10 episodes when Punk was there, it was some damn good television. It was old school Saturday night wrestling style, having guys like Darby do extra matches, having Punk do matches, having FTR there who were really popular at the time, and it was popping off. I mean, they had Buddy Matthews and Angelade. That shit was fire. Like it was so good. So they had some really good stuff going. But then the big announcement, All in London. A biggest AEW show you could ever do. Sell out Wembley. I remember seeing the announcement when I was at Dynamite in Long Island. I remember that. I was there and I was like, oh my God, they're about to sell out Wembley, the biggest stadium in London. I'm like, yes. Oh my God, yes,
we were
do
both
it.
There, We were both there, but we did not see each other.
No, we did not see each other because he was on the other side, I was on the right side, he was on the left side. But regardless, we saw the announcement in person. Oh, and did I forget to add? They signed Jay White that night. I forgot to say that.
The debut of Jay White.
The debut of Jay White in AEW, and I was like, holy shit, Jay White's here. Oh my god, this is crazy.
And a bucket list in a way, I actually saw a real wrestling debut. So that's
yeah,
cool.
yeah, you're right. You're right. I've at least seen okay, no, I seen one prior. I saw Saraya. I saw Saraya in person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And Saraya hasn't been seen in wrestling in years. So that was really cool. At the time, it was cool.
Yeah.
But my point is yeah, so, but I've seen, like, you know, some debuts, like big ones, like, you know, Cole in NXT when he jumped the barricade. That shit. And, by the way, I never told you this. I just started watching ROH when he debuted in NXT. No, generally. Like, if he would have debuted and I didn't watch ROH and I didn't know who Adam Cole was, bro, I would have been the most dumbest idiot in that crowd. But I'm glad I did my research and learned about Mr. Cole and see why WWE is getting a gem in Adam Cole. And my God, they got a fucking gem. Because, oh my God, that dude in NXT was elite. My God, so good.
Hopefully they'll get the gem
so
back.
Fucking good. So fucking good. So fucking good.
Hopefully they get the gem back.
Yeah.
If they want
generally elite, but generally elite. So that was great. But yeah, no, I've seen some good debuts, and Jay White was one of them. I was like, that's really cool. And plus, I was watching Jay in New Japan for a long time, so it was really cool to see a New Japan guy go over. I was like, wow, that's amazing. So that goes down, and then the controversy happens. It's more of a funny controversy, but it's still a controversy. You know, there was little controversies like, you know, Andrade and Sammy, and other controversies with Miro, and yada, 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 whatever. Those are just like little controversies. The big controversy was on the 0 hour. Well, first it happened on Collision, because Jack Perry was sent to Collision, this new heel Jack Perry, after turning a blind eye after listening to Christian. He turns on Luchasaurus. He goes on his own, and just turns on Hook. It looked like it was going to be Jungle Hook. Nah, not anymore. So now they were feuding. He won the FTW Championship, and Hook won it back. But that's not what mattered here. On Collision, there was a segment plan for Perry to use like a glass, but it was going to be like a real glass kind of car for the segment for Hook.
Yeah, he wanted the idea to, you know, use actual real glass.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Punk and doctors told him, don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. But Perry was trying to be a rebel and a savage and try to make it real as hell. Not the best idea. Because, again, if it goes wrong, you're going to break something. You're going to break a bone. Not the best idea. And, again, we don't know what the spot would have been, but that was the report going into Collision. So then Punk and the doctors, they had a little... This was the first one. This wasn't even the one backstage at Wembley. This was the first one. The first little confrontation. It didn't go to hands or anything. It was more confrontation talk. It got broken up by people. And they basically sent Perry home. Punk finished his match. They sent Perry home. Basically, Perry was not there for the rest of the night. But he had a segment planned for Hook. He had a segment planned. But after the whole Real Glass situation, the first time, that's it. It never happened. Yeah. So that thing never aired. It is what it is. So they had to scrap it. That's one instance. But this is the one that everybody talks about. So during the match of the big, I think it was a no false count anywhere street fight with Hook and Jack Perry for the FTW title. Like I said, Hook won the FTW title. That's not what matters here, though. Hook gets a backdrop on a very fancy kind of London-style car, almost like an SUV almost. And at first, you're like, oh, you basically taking a car bump. Again, I was oohs and ahs because that thing was brutal. But then he said, Crimea River, Real Glass, and I'm like, oh no, he didn't.
Oh,
he sent a shot to CM Punk in front of the camera while Punk was ready to do his match with Samoa Joe, which is a dream match that has been planned for a long time. This has been building on Collision.
A dream rivalry, you know, years in the making to redo this rivalry.
Oh, yeah.
And it was ruined because of that stupid comment. Even though
here's the thing, though. The match itself still slapped. Punk and Joe, which shout out to Joe. Joe is a professional at at his heart. That dude is a veteran. That dude knows what he's doing. He fired up Punk and said, use that energy to do our match. And Punk did that. Punk used the energy, even after having a falling out with Perry backstage. He locked in and had the match with Joe. And guess what? The match cooked.
Yeah, it did.
The match fucking cooked, which is the craziest
the match
thing.
Could. Which
The
luckily Joe was able to calm him down. And
Yeah, shout
out to Joe.
Yeah, shout out to Joe. He helped out the situation. I think he had one of his other like friends near him also helping him out. Like, bro, just use, like, be fired up, but don't make it like a serious like match. Like, fire up, of course, get yourself fired up, but use that energy to make our match even better. And Punk said, "Bet, I'll do that," and it worked out because Punk and Joe that night, absolute fucking banger, fantastic fucking match. It was great. But then, because again, we didn't know about the brawl until Tony said it on the post-media. So after the show wraps up, great first impression. AEW in London, fantastic first impression. Really good stuff. Hell, they even had fucking Will Ospreay wrestle, which was fan-fucking-tastic. So it was great. And Will didn't even sign to All Elite at that point. So it was great. But then Tony basically started up the press conference before he talked to Sting and Darby, because this was going to be Sting's last kind of big Wembley moment. Basically, he said, unfortunately, there was an altercation with Punk and Perry. Both have been sent home, and we don't have any other details right now, but we will update you throughout. And we were like, oh, bruh. Like, I generally said bruh when he said, I was like, oh my god, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So I literally did a bruh. I did a bruh in the chat. I was like, oh.
You gotta be shitting me.
You've got to be kidding me.
That's what I said. Again?
Like a bruh in the chat. So I was like, all right, we'll see how this plays out. We'll see.
Oh, God.
I was like, you know what? Let's see how this plays out. So then we finally get an answer. I think I want to say a Dynamite or two after All In. AEW finally addresses what's next for Punk. Are they going to suspend him again, or are they just going to straight up do something else? Well, this time Tony went force. He went force on this one. So basically, Tony comes on. He says he fears for his life. That's the big meme that everybody says. I fear for my life. Basically. In his words. Even though you'll see later on, that's kind of bullshit. But regardless.
Yeah.
I fear for my life. And then basically he said, he didn't even say him by Punk's name. He said him by his full name, like Phil Crooks. He said Phil, a.k.a. CM Punk, is fired indefinitely. Like, he fired him on TV in front of a national audience. He said he's done. His contract's terminated. He's been let go. He's gone. He's basically gone. He's not coming back. Punk is done. And again, the fans understood it at the time because of all the controversy, but also people were questioning, was the firing worth it? Because again, we didn't know anything. We didn't see the footage. There's no CCT footage. We don't know anything.
And not only that though, but it was like Jack Perry only received a suspension, which is understandable, but at the same time, are you kidding me? There wasn't consideration for maybe him being fired. Like, there was a lot of, like, Jack Perry should be fired, but especially after, the video press was revealed, which we'll talk about that in a few.
We gonna get to that. But my point is basically, people understood at the time why Punk was fired. At the time, we're like, all right, it's bold, but if you think he did something fucked up, then fine. You let him loose. You let him go. It is what it is. So the perception changed on Punk, but Punk got a chance to just kind of rest at home and just kind of relax, really. Just relax and
there was a lot
enjoy.
Of bad reception on Punk for a while when.
For a while. There
was no proof that he was,
But that's why, like, I wasn't
responsible.
I wasn't trashing on Punk at all. I was just kind of neutral. I was neutral because I want to see it play out. I want to see if this is all true or they're basically playing it up. That's what I want to see. Because I was still, like I said, I wasn't ride or die Punk at that point, but I was very neutral. I was still like, all right, I'm still gonna support this man, whatever he does. And then at the time, he did some commentary for the second UFC like I think developmental brand. He did some boxing matches there. He did some commentary, did some interviews, took a little shots at AEW a little bit, kind of funny shots, but nothing crazy, nothing crazy. So then that goes by. Then a year goes by about that event, and then the Young Bucks come in. Young Bucks introduced this whole new gimmick, a whole new Young Bucks that are still doing to this day. The EVPs, like, but actually playing in the EVPs, not just the Young Bucks, like EVP Young Bucks, where they have control and they can basically do whatever they want on TV. Basically, like they have no rules.
Yeah.
That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Which again, at first, I mean, hell of a story, a hell of a story, a hell of a way to win those titles back and start running that division once again. And the crazy part is, they got an opportunity to wrestle with the icon, Sting, like one of the goats. Like they got an opportunity to wrestle the Sting, which is impressive.
Yeah.
Sting and Darby won the titles for Ricky Starks and Big Bill at the time, in Arizona, in a really good main event. But Sting got his one AEW title before he left, so kudos to Sting. Kudos to Sting and Darby. So they won those titles, they defended them, and then the big time during that year, Sting revealed 2024.
Yep, 2024.
Yeah, 2024.
No, 24.
2024 at Revolution in Greensboro, North Carolina, the place where it all started for him. He will retire, and we were like, oh, so sad.
Wow.
I was genuinely sad, but again, I was grateful. I got a chance to go see Sting wrestle before he retired. I was so grateful.
Yeah,
I got a chance to do that.
Me too. I'm glad that I was able to see Sting before he retired.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
Hell of a man, hell of a legend,
I got to see him in 2 different accounts. I got to see him on AEW Dynamite against FTR when they had Tully Blanchard, and I had an opportunity to see him on Rampage with Great Muta against House of Black, which was a crazy moment. I was like, oh my god, that's insane. So really cool stuff. And I think did he wrestle on Rampage when we went, or was he on Dynamite?
Yes, he fought.
I think it was on Rampage, right?
Yeah, he fought. Yep, he fought Christian Cage and Luchasaurus.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, you got a chance to see Sting wrestle on Rampage. So pretty cool stuff. We got a chance before he retired. It was cool. So, but yeah, that's the good part. Then the match actually happens. Probably one of my favorite retirement matches I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was batshit. It was crazy, but it was everything Sting wanted, and they booked it beautifully. They had a great venue, great crowd. They had his sons doing the Stinger splashes, which was a cool moment. We had Darby have his craziest die moment I've ever seen in my life. Fucking glass. Jesus Christ. I still think about that spot sometimes. I'm like, how the fuck did Darby walk out of that? I don't fucking know. But Jesus Christ. So, but it was all great, is what I'm trying to say. Like, the EVP stuff worked. They let Sting win his final match. It all worked. And I wasn't even mad that he relinquished the titles. I wasn't even mad. I was like, you know what? I get it. He's a legend. Let him relinquish the titles and let him walk on his own merit. Let him run into the sunset. It's perfect. It's a good idea. So then we have I think a tournament to decide who wins the tag team titles. And yes, the EVPs did win the tag team titles, as I kind of expected. I was like, yep, they're probably gonna win them, and they did. They finally won them clean. They won the tournament. I believe it's against Acclaim. They won the titles, and they started their EVP run. It was really funny at first. It was fucking hilarious at first. Then they actually added members. They added the Rainmaker. Yeah, Okada signed with AEW. Yep. You're like, oh, okay. I do love me so Okada. I do respect Okada.
Since Okada was moving on,
pretty
it was
cool.
best that he would be moving on and going to where some of his friends are in the Young Bucks and the
Stay
EVPs.
Safe. Yeah.
Was in AEW, and he joined their faction of the Elite.
Yeah, and he was also a heel, and he turned on Eddie Kingston, which
he's still
he's still a heel, but he turned heel. And now him and Eddie Kingston were getting into a feud, I thought was a great idea. And he actually won because Eddie was a champion where he basically defended in 3 different brands. I thought that was really cool.
Phenomenal.
Phenomenal stuff. So then Okada wins the Continental title. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Give Okada a belt that he can run with and let him run with it. Easy. I'm fine with that. Then Pac steps up and I'm like, okay, now we talking. Hold on. I do like me some Pac. So Pac returns, and then we get Pac versus Okada at the pay-per-view, and that shit slapped. That shit was a great match. Okada won in the end, but a really good match at the end. And I thought that was the streak we were going to get, just a bunch of great Okada matches for his run. So that happens aside. Then Jack Perry returns to cost, I believe it was FTR, the tag titles. He returns, and now he's the scapegoat. Now, he did debut this gimmick in New Japan because he got sent to New Japan. He popped up, I think it was out of one of the U.S. shows. He popped up and attacked someone, and we're like, holy shit, Jack Perry's back. Where the fuck has he been?
I believe it was Shooter. Yep, Shooter.
I believe it was Shota Umino he started a feud with.
Yep,
and the feud bled into New Japan. He basically went to Japan to fight Shooter. Jack Perry, I believe he won one of the matches with House of Torture. Then they recruited him in House of Torture, and then the scapegoat really picked up from there. He started staying in New Japan. He started working. He started doing matches. He was looking good. He was looking solid. Then he gets back to AEW. Humongous reaction. Weirdly enough, I thought it was going to be the complete opposite. Nope. Humongous reaction. Absolutely humongous reaction for Jack Perry. They get Crimea River chants. They get Perry chants. Then Perry gets taken out by security, basically. But you could see that grin, that Christian grin that he learned. Smug face, of course. So then that happens, and then EVPs retain, and the EVPs just have like a meh kind of run after that. But that's not even where the part gets fucking crazy. This is where shit gets crazy. I want to say around July. Around July, for some fucking reason, there's a rumor going around that the Young Bucks are about to do a shocking announcement. 9 times out of 10, these shocking announcements are either saying we're not defending our titles, or maybe a team steps up to go after the Young Bucks. And it looked like the Acclaim were set for that. Also, we thought. But then the thing took a wild turn before Perry came back. Yep. They basically had the balls to have the Young Bucks and the EVPs show the CTV footage of the Jack Perry situation with Punk. What the fuck? When I saw it, I was like, what? Why?
Why? The balls that these people have.
Why?
And I think this should have been one of the first times where we said this is a toxic environment.
Yeah. But you know what?
Lie.
Yeah, that probably should have been my first red flag. But again, it was the first red flag. I was like, you know what?
It was curious.
If it doesn't show anything, it doesn't show anything. If it shows something, it shows something, and we'll talk about it.
But if it didn't show anything, it showed that Tony Khan lied. It shows that the management can't be trusted. Yes. And I think this is one of the first red flags, first signs where we should have said, unacceptable.
Yeah,
you lied about a legend and a veteran that has done this, who has worked his tail off to be considered the best wrestler, one of the best wrestlers in the world. And not only that, one of the most truthful and painful wrestlers. And you're trying to just diminish his reputation, and yet your footage said nothing or did anything to hurt him.
Oh, I forgot.
Instead, you played the victim. My fault if I'm just cutting you off.
I know, I understand. Victim. No, I understand. Yeah. No, absolutely. I didn't want to interrupt that, but I just want to also keep this in mind. At that time, you know where CM Punk was? He was in WWE at that point. Yeah. Earlier that year, he went to Survivor Series in Chicago and he resigned. And guess what he was doing? Helping out the young talent, helping out NXT, helping out the main roster, doing numbers. Even when he was injured, people wanted to see Punk. Even though he was injured for WrestleMania, people wanted to see Punk. He was doing good shit, is what I'm trying to say. He cost Drew McIntyre to start this epic rivalry. That should have been my clue of, hey, you should probably stop tuning in. But I didn't.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? It's the first red flag. I'm not going to defend it because the footage showed absolutely nothing. Just a bunch of lies.
And you know what it showed? It showed Tony Khan being a coward, not being a boss. No. Being a coward and not sticking up for one of his legends, for one of the legends of this wrestling community. One of the legends that have paved the way for young stars like most of your roster has.
Oh, yeah, the segment itself was so fucking bland. There was no comment. I thought it was going to be funny commentary from the Young Bucks explaining everything. Nope. They just
Yeah.
show grainy ass CTV footage from the stadium, black and
They
white,
just they
no
just show the real
color.
footage. That's it.
Like they literally just showed the real footage. That's it.
Yeah.
We couldn't even get color. I thought we were gonna get color at least. Nope. Black and
Yeah.
white. Black and white. CTV footage.
Yep.
But they didn't. They didn't even like maybe have fun with it and just maybe have the Young Bucks commentate and make fun of it. At least I would have been
Yeah.
entertained with that. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it's fucked
Okay,
up, but
yeah.
it's funny. It's funny,
Competition
you know.
stirring the pot. I think that would have been made it.
That would have been
more
funny. That would have been funny.
okay
Like just have like the
of
Young
this.
Bucks clown on I don't know Samoa Joe or have the
Yeah.
Young Bucks clown on Punk a little bit, but don't just say his name. Just have fun with it. You know, like
But you
it could
know,
have been funny.
and that footage that set them up more than Punk did.
Oh yeah. Oh no. Yeah. No.
Up.
That set up them way more than you think. So to basically explain what the footage had, it's basically it's not a lot. Like I barely even need to break this down.
It was like a 3-minute clip.
But I can at least give you the highlights at least. So again, it seemed like Punk and Perry, after I believe it was Perry's match, Perry walks to the back. Yep. Punk's there getting ready for his match with Joe to start the show. And then I think something was said. Probably something again there was no audio, so we couldn't tell what was said. Something was said. It turned into a Pearl Apart brawl. A chair goes flying, so Tony was right about the chair. But it was literally nothing. Like the chair just grazed him. If that, like it's like one of the fucking worst chair things I've ever seen. The chair just kind of moved. Like that's how it felt. It's just the chair moved. It just moved closer to his body. It wasn't even like to the face. It was if it was to the face, I'd be like, oh, I see why you fear for your life. You don't want to get hit with a chair. I understand. It didn't even hit the face. It was more the body. No. It didn't even hit the body. Like it was the graze.
Bro, like it was just Punk holding the chair though, and not only that, it was a headlock. It was a headlock. That's all it was.
Oh yeah, it was a headlock. Shovels. Yeah, it was a fucking headlock. It was little shovels. And you know where Tony Khan was? You know where the boss of AEW was? On a couple of stairs, just standing over the terrace or whatever, letting it happen, not even saying a word. And he's not even like doing the sign. He's not even doing a sign.
He's not even trying to stop the fight.
No, that's what I mean. Like he's not even doing like a sign of like yelling like, hey, we need security. Hey, we need more people.
It's not just security though. I mean, well that too, but it's not just that though. He did not even say or try to stop the fight at all. You know what he did? He ran. He ran for cover. That's what that man did.
He ran for cover. He ran for little cover. He didn't even like notified the locker room, hey, we need some help over here. This is a bit of an altercation right now.
In that situation was Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe was in the middle of that.
Chris Hero.
Him and Chris Hero, I believe Joe specifically, basically moved Perry out of the situation, picked him up, moved him out of the situation, and then Chris Hero took Punk to the other side.
And
good job, you two. And then Joe followed Punk right after. So while they took care of Perry, Joe went back to Punk. Good shit, Chris Hero and Samoa Joe. Good fucking shit. Good shit. Yeah. You guys deserve credit in this. But that's the only credit you're going to get.
That's how you do it.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. That's how you break up a situation. So shout out to Joe, shout out to Chris Hero. But that's all you get. Now, I do want to give credit to Hero as well, because I believe Hero was the one who produced the Samoa Joe match, which, banger. That boy knows what he's doing. So shout out to Chris Hero. That man produced a banger. So in the end...
he wrestles again.
Yeah. In the end, did it work out for at least the match-wise? Yeah, no, it worked out in the end. Even after the altercation, it worked out. But did the aftermath pay off? Fuck no. Fuck no. It might have helped Perry.
The amount of backlash that AEW received on that day.
Nope. And it tried to be like a whole ratings grab, but it couldn't even beat NXT in the rating. Nope. LOL! It couldn't even beat NXT at the time. Oh my god. And again, I don't care about ratings. Like I said, that's why I haven't bought it up too much. I really don't care about ratings.
We don't care about ratings. All we care about is if the product is
good. Yeah.
Yeah. And for AEW for a while, it was, but at the same time, controversy. This is where the controversy really started, and slowly the downfall happened.
Oh, and even that footage there, after that footage aired, there was a rough month of just nothing. Like, we got a chance to see Jeff Hardy before he left. He got in a little bit in the main event with like Moxley, and he got a chance to work some people. But other than that, it was
Yeah.
so mid. It was so
It was
mid.
so over.
It was so mid. Like that whole week of tapings was mid. Hell, Collision was better at that point, and Collision was ran by Danielson at the time, so kudos to
Yeah.
Danielson. But generally, like it was, oh my god, it was so mid. It was
So
so mid,
terrible. It was
so mid.
honestly awkward to watch, I
It was
would say.
it was
Very
so
awkward.
awkward. It was so awkward. Like I said, once Perry popped up months later, things kind of picked up quickly. But again,
Yeah.
time it took only that footage when
He
you
still
probably,
faced the
and also
backlash.
technically, did Perry even need the footage? Probably not, because he
No.
probably would have got the same reaction anyway. Because people want to see Perry and what the hell he was going to do with the scapegoat.
And to be honest, though, it exposed. Well, technically, it did kind of exposed him for starting the whole shit.
Oh
To be
yeah,
honest.
but kudos to Perry for just using it as fuel, because he just fucking used
Yeah.
it as fuel. So Perry took
Yeah.
the situation. You know what? He said, "Fuck it, I'm just use it as fuel." Shout out to Perry.
Yeah. And
Shout out
I
to
think
Perry.
it's benefited him so far, even though we haven't seen him in a while. But I think it's really
Yeah, he hasn't been.
benefited him
Like I said,
so
the last thing he
far.
did was Wrestle Dynasty against Yoda Tsuji, which became a global title
Yes.
defense. Yoda Tsuji retained, of course. So
Yep.
shout out to Yoda Tsuji. But regardless, the point is the footage probably didn't really do much for Perry, but it also didn't do much for AEW either. If anything, it just kind of made it worse. So again, that's red flag number uno. So then months and years go by. We start fresh, new colors, new fresh paint. Copeland debuted at the time,
A new
which
era
which
for
which which
AEW.
which Copeland. I think Copeland's run in AEW so far has been very good. So Copeland's been a good signing. I think his match with Malachi
Yeah.
was epic, even though he got hurt. It was epic. It was brutal. It was bloody. It was very good. Twists and turns too. So it was really good stuff.
Oh yeah.
Then Will Ospreay joined the company. That dude was cooking. It seemed like we were gonna get Kenny Omega, kind of getting Kenny Omega back because he was coming back from diverticulitis, but he kind of took some bumps, but didn't really get back yet until this year. But it was still cool to see Kenny because it's been a while. And it looked like they were gonna do the EVPs versus Kenny storyline, which fair enough. But then this is where things were kind of in the middle for me. The women weren't getting booked as much. Mercedes Moné was running the division at the time. Women's champion was actually Timeless Tony Storm, so that was a good champion to have. That was the one thing in the women's division that was going very well for them. And the development of Mariah May. So I did like that kind of stuff. The TNT title, Perry was holding at the time. He had a very unique TNT title run, that unique title, so decent stuff there. The AEW World, I think it was Swerve's reign at the time.
Yes. Swerve was the reigning
I think it was
champion.
going to be the big setup for Swerve. Yeah, Swerve and Danielson was the next big thing, which I absolutely love that feud. So Swerve and Danielson was the big next feud. It was a damn good feud, and the match at the London pay-per-view, because they went to All In again, was
Yep.
fantastic. Fan-fucking-tastic. It was really good stuff. It was great. And I can't lie, at that point I was like, hey, AEW is having a decent kind of run right now. Are we back? That's what I thought at the time. And for a short time, even some of the pay-per-views coming up, Wrestle Dream, that was good. Konosuke started getting back on TV, which was nice. The Donka's family started getting some love. And it was going decent. It wasn't going amazing, but it was going decent. I was like, okay, decent stuff. Then the end of 2024 hits. Now, in the AEW All In London Gauntlet, that was really fun. They had a lot of UK guys, and they had debuts. Ricochet debuted at that point. I was like, oh, okay. Rico, good to see you. It looked like he was free. He felt happy. And he looked happy. I was happy for him. Samantha was also in the crowd watching her man go cooking. And he did cook in that match. He was cooking everybody. It was fantastic stuff. I was like, is this the Ricochet we're going to get? I appreciate that. So, and it was looking really good. It looked like him and Ospreay were going to start a program, which, yes, 100% yes. So, that happens. And then Ricochet was a babyface at the time. Him and Will were baby faces, but they respected each other, even though they were good friends. And the match they had at the anniversary, which went about like 20, 30 minutes, really good stuff. Then it got interrupted by Konosuke, so now it turned into a three-way situation. And then those three had the most fire fucking three-way the whole year. That shit was insane. And Konosuke finally won a championship. So at that point, I was like, you know what? I like where this is going. I like what All Elite's doing right here. And even though, I think the Moxley stuff was starting at the time, I was like, let's see where it goes. He retired Danielson. Danielson retired at that point. He lost to Moxley in his home of Tacoma, Washington. I was like, okay, Danielson's done. What does Mox have left? So Mox won his, I believe, his like fourth? Yeah, I think it's fourth AEW World Championship. And he had this new group, the Death Riders. Wheeler Yuta, Pac, Marina Shafir, and Cesaro Claudio at the time. And the group on paper sounded so interesting. I was like, oh, this is an interesting kind of group here. I'm very intrigued where this group goes. And at first I was like, hey, this is some decent storyline. Have Moxley cut these riveting promos. It was good stuff for a while. But then stuff got a little samey. He had a couple feuds, decent. Then he had a four-way match at the final pay-per-view World's End. All right. It was all over the place, but all right. It's okay. World's End was still fun. Like, Okada and Will in the Continental Final was a fucking banger. Will and Kyle Fletcher was great. So they had stuff going. They had a ton of stuff going at that point. And hell, even Mercedes and Chris Statlander were cooking as well. So I wasn't even mad at it. So I was pretty happy with it. Then once Mercedes and Chris kind of finished, now we're kind of in an island on what's next for her. So, it is what it is. So then Mariah's doing her reign, which is, she's been alright. She fought Thunder Rosa. Alright, cool. But we were kind of waiting for the big match, because Toni Storm returned at that point. Toni Storm returned as the normal Toni Storm, though, not timeless. But she's kind of in a crisis, where she's kind of a rookie, but she still does some timeless things. It's like a hybrid. It's like a hybrid is the word. Which is, again, I was fine with it at the time. And then 2025 starts. They announced to go to HBO. I'm like, oh, this is huge. They're finally back on. They're on streaming. This is something AEW needs. More viewers every week. This is perfect. And the first show, they knocked it out of the park. I thought the first HBO AEW show was really good. They ended off with Copeland with a rated FTR versus the Death Riders. I thought that was a great match. Swerve's triple threat match, number one contendership, was also very fun. And then they had the Ricochet turn, which I thought was done beautifully. So I'm like, okay, Ricochet's official. Let's see what he can do. So then that happened. They even had Wrestle Dynasty previously, but Wrestle Dynasty was fantastic. And it looked like AEW had a decent little thing going. It seemed like. And they were building up to this big show in Ohio in front of Moxley's people. Maximum Carnage. I was like, okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. This could be a nice little special as we head into Revolution in the Staples Center, Crypto.com Arena. They're going to Staples Center this year. And they're also doing Australia this year as well. Next month they're going to do Australia. So on paper, we were like, hey, this might be a decent little start for AEW this year. That fell so quickly, it's not even funny. So the week before the Maximum Carnage show, decent show. It was alright. Not bad, nothing crazy, but decent. We were alright with it. Then they announced Ricochet's going to speak for the first time. They announced Kenny's going to have a match with Brian Cage, which, again, cool little matchup there. And then they're also going to do Moxley defending against Powerhouse Hobbs, who won the gauntlet the previous week. And then the one who won the women's gauntlet was Toni Storm. So we're going to Toni Storm versus Mariah May in Australia, which kind of makes sense. But there's a lot of problems with that. You see, the original Australia show was going to be in a stadium, the Sun Stadium, which is the football field, or for rugby. But AEW, due to its lack of ticket sales, had to move to a bit of an auditorium. They had to move to a music venue, which again, could sell about 10,000, 20,000. That's not awful, But when you promise a big stadium that can sell 30, 40, 50,000, at that point, you either not only ripping the fans off, but also you're not
Yeah.
keeping your promise of we could sell this place out. Because
Yeah,
last year, at
no.
least in All in London, you were able to still sell 40K, which is decent. It's pretty good if
Yeah.
you think about it. But you can't
Good
even sell
enough.
at a
Yeah.
Grand Slam. That's a special. Something's wrong. Something's not going right.
And out of the country in Australia, yeah, no,
New
yeah,
market,
something was
new
wrong.
market. They haven't been in Australia yet.
For
You can't hit
AEW, yeah,
you can't even sell that. But
yeah,
WWE could sell that place in a minute with Elimination Chamber.
easily, yeah,
Come on, no way. Come on. This is supposed to be the homecoming for Buddy Matthews. There's this big story right now that Buddy Matthews is trying to get on that card. But that's not
yeah,
going to matter if there's not a lot of fans. Like, it's...
yeah. If
Come
that place
on.
is
Like,
canceled, and and you can't even promise people what they want, which we can't, especially the main people where you're going to be at, Australia.
yeah. That's a big market, bro. If AEW could score in that market, that's another market they can always go to, just like London. Because they're going to Forbidden Door for London this year.
Yeah,
But
they're not looking
again,
good right now. They're not looking good.
no, it's not looking good. It is not looking good at all.
Yeah,
So, yikes. But we're like, you know what? You know, it is what it is. Let's just see how these few show goes, and we'll kind of reevaluate.
yeah.
And then Maximum Carnage happened. And I
Okay.
watched it. And I watched it. And at the end of the night, I was like,
I was done with it.
Is this the fucking product that you're putting out before Australia and Revolution? What the fuck was this? And no, most times when they do a dud, I'm like, alright, it's a dud. It is what it is. Generally, I was like, this is your stories? This is what you have going into Grand Slam?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this? This is not like what the fuck is this? This is supposed to be a special? This is supposed to be a Cincinnati special? This is supposed to be a homecoming for Mox? What the fuck is this? And I understand if everyone in the crowd enjoyed it. Hey, enjoy it, man.
Good for you.
Good for
Good
you.
for you.
You got a chance to see your world champion Mox, who hasn't been to Cincinnati in a long time. I get it. But for the people at home that know that it was bad,
And that I've kept up with watching it for years and months.
boy.
Oh my goodness.
Oh.
That show was terrible.
I'm gonna say this now. Listen to this. Before I stopped watching, I watched one more AEW show. You know what I watched? I watched Maximum Carnage Collision. And I could say from experience, that was 100 times better than what the fuck we got on Dynamite. That's a problem! That's a fucking problem! Why is Collision Maximum Carnage better than Dynamite? Why? It should be the opposite. It should be Dynamite Maximum Carnage is good, and Collision Maximum Carnage is decent. It's like good, but not like crazy good. But that Collision, that death match, Christopher Daniels' last match, was actually good. How the fuck is Collision doing better shows than Dynamite? How does that make any sense? Make it make sense. Dynamite's supposed to be your flagship A show. That's supposed to be your Monday Night Raw. And you're telling me the B brand, the SmackDown side, is doing better than your main fucking brand you're supposed to be promoting for both Australia and Revolution? What the fuck are we doing here?
We're gonna have tough
What
times.
the fuck are we doing here?
Yeah.
What the fuck are
You know,
we doing
and
here?
I thought about watching that Collision show, but I wasn't sure about it.
I would at least watch the feature matches. Like, I would say Daniels'
Okay.
match, watch it. Because he put everything on the line for his retirement match. He put everything on the line against Hangman. Blood, weapons, everything was put on the line. That's why he retired that night. He retired a hero. Shout out Christopher Daniels. But other than that, and there's Okada and Ishii. That was a good one. Those are always good though, because again, they're Japan guys, so they know what they're doing. So expect that to be good. But other than those two, and hell, even the women's match was decent as well. But you see, I'm talking more about that stuff than what the fuck Dynamite offered. I haven't even talked about what was on Dynamite. Because that shit was trash. At least Collision had fucking Okada and Ishii. And Christopher Daniels and Hangman in the death match. At least that can get me a little excited. Because again, it's Christopher Daniels' last match. And he went out strong. And all I could do is respect him. Because the Fallen Angel was a legend in this business.
Yeah, an underrated
Legend.
most underrated
Legend,
wrestlers
bro.
ever.
Like if ROH had a Hall of Fame, he's in there. If
Yeah.
the TNA Hall of Fame, I think he's gonna get in the TNA Hall of Fame one day.
Yeah,
I
no, I
think
think
so.
he will be.
That
I won't
dude's
be
gonna be in the Hall of
surprised if
Fame.
this year. If
It
this
wouldn't
year will
surprise
probably
me
be
if the
it.
next year or two you see Christopher Daniels on that Hall of Fame stage at Slammiversary.
Because we
Would not
can say,
surprise me.
without Christopher Daniels, there is no companies such as AEW. There is no companies
There's not
such as
even
TNA.
there's not even no like X division like him, Joe, AJ, a mix of Suicide. Without those guys, I don't know if the X division has popping off as it always does. But that's because those guys revolutionized it. And then when Daniels got so good, he got to move to the world title as an X division guy. That's not easy. So that's why I
Yeah.
respected him for doing the match with Hangman, because no other retirement match would ever want you to do a death match to end your career. No way. But Daniel said, you know what? I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out swinging. I'm probably gonna lose, but I'm gonna go out swinging. My God, he went out swinging. So shout out to Christopher
Yeah.
Daniels and Hangman for putting on a hell of a death match. Kudos to
Yeah.
those two. And whoever produced that match, good on you. Good on you, whoever produced that. Regardless. But again, that's a problem though. How am I talking good about Collision? I'm not talking shit about Dynamite. That's a problem. Because Dynamite should be the most talked about. Man, you know what? I'm just going to quickly go over what the fuck this show had. Kenny Omega vs. Brian Cage. The one match that was somewhat alright. I was okay with
Solid.
this. Decent return for Kenny Omega. I still think his Gabe Kidd match obviously was way better. He fit way more in New Japan. But again, Kenny is
Yeah.
still rusty, so I'm giving him a chance.
From
Fine.
Return to America.
Fine. Kenny Omega, Brian Cage, solid. Not bad.
Yeah.
The women's gauntlet match, nah.
It was
Right
alright.
winner. Right winner, I say. Tony
Yeah.
Storm does deserve this. Right winner.
Yeah.
But, it was cool to see Megan Bayne too, because I actually really like Megan Bayne. Megan Bayne's cool.
Yeah.
Let me think. Powerhouse and Mox, not better than their other encounters.
No.
Not
it was a
better
great
than their
main
other
event, though.
encounters.
And to be honest, I feel like this main event was this match was probably one of the only matches other than Kenny Omega's match that was.
Oh, yeah, no.
worth
Oh,
watching.
yeah. I was going to get to that. I will give credit to Powerhouse and Mox. Those two put everything on the line. So that's the one match, and Kenny and Brian Cage, I could accept those two. I could accept those two because those two were decent, and the main event was very good. Mox and Powerhouse just have a great chemistry. Even if Powerhouse is a heel, its chemistry's unbound. And hell, the match he had with Konosuke at World's End was great, so I'm not surprised by this. But again, not as good as their first few, but I do think it's in that conversation of they're second or third best, which is still really good for those two. So I would say, and also probably one of the more better Moxley defenses we've had in a while. I can't lie. Other than him and Danielson, I would say it was one of his better defenses so far in his run. So kudos to Moxley for that one. So that happens there. Jeff Jarrett and Maxwell promo. Excellent stuff. They made Maxwell look like a bastard here against Jeff. Great stuff. It's a little sad that Jeff's retirement tour is the only thing interesting, but I like that they let Max go at the legend and then Jeff answering back.
And this
stuff.
is what Maxwell needs to build more momentum into him coming back into AEW.
When Maxwell did the thing at World's End, I was like, we're about to get a monster Maxwell. I'm ready for this. So that might be the one thing. Again, I'm not going to watch the product, but if there's one thing I'm going to keep my eye out on, is what Maxwell's doing. Because Maxwell's on a revenge tour to the World Heavyweight title. And I can't shy away from Maxwell. I just can't. I'm sorry. It's Maxwell Jacob Friedman. I can't do it. So, but if that's the stuff we're going to get with Jeff, shit, sign me up. I'm here for it. So that's one thing. Favorite segment of the night? Right there. Perfect. What about everything else?
Trash. Fucking trash.
Trash. Ricochet swerve? Unwasted potential. I was so ready for this Ricochet heel turn, and then he got danced on his grave by Nana and got chased out by Swerve.
And not only that though, but first off, you had a few minutes to say what you had to say, but no, You had to talk. You had to not say nothing. You had to talk with the crowd, and then you let Nana basically hit you with a steel chair and let him dance on you.
Dance on your grave. And then
Get out of
Swerve
your career.
did the same fucking thing.
Yep.
The fuck, bro? You're telling me this is
Now,
the feud that Swerve is getting into? Oh my god.
yeah.
Like, there's no story
Now,
going into this.
match wise, this has so much potential. But
Oh no,
storyline
100%.
wise, oh my
Oh
god,
my
it's a
god, like,
it's a travesty. Actually,
it's, a,
no. It's dumpster garbage. That's what it
it's
is.
garbage. It's fucking
Dumpster garbage.
garbage. It's so
Dump,
bad. So literally, you're telling me the only thing we got to see from Ricochet was those little promos in New Japan, which, again, those are like little promos. And then maybe a few words on Dynamite that wasn't his solo stuff, like little interviews backstage. But not even a promo to explain himself?
yeah, no.
That's not storytelling. When a heel turn happens, you have to let the heel explain why he did it. Why do you think Santos and Ray work so well? Because they let Santos explain why he turned on Ray. It's so simple storytelling, motherfucker. It's so simple. It's generally so simple.
Yeah.
Any heel that has a big heel turn always explains why they turn heel. Don't matter if it's a faction, a team, or just a main eventer. They explain themselves. Why did they do it? Ricochet, we didn't get an explanation. We don't know why you turned heel. You're just heel. Which is not a good heel. Heel should be getting not only heat, but heel should explain his actions and why he hit Swerve. Why did you hit him with the scissor? Why did you make him bleed? Why did you do this evil laugh? Why are you doing this? There's no motivation. Why are you doing this?
Finally break? Why did you
break? Was it the toilet paper? Was it the Hammerstone Ballroom? Was it Prince Nana? Was it Swerve? What made you break, Ricochet? You didn't give us a fucking answer. And you're expecting to face him this week? aka today? Doesn't make any fucking sense. The match is happening, but there's no explanation why it's happening. You see where there's a lot of logic gaps?
Oh, very much logic gaps.
Because, if Ricochet gave a simple answer, I hate Swerve Strickland. I'm like, you know what? It's very simple, but that's your intention. You hate Swerve Strickland. Cool.
Yeah.
Now go kick his ass. Easy. But he didn't even say that. He said nothing. He didn't say a word.
And taunted the crowd. And taunted with the crowd a little bit.
That's it.
Like really?
How can you... I'm about to say this.
You had a week. You had a week
to figure out a promo.
And you couldn't say nothing? Nothing good.
Nothing at all.
Shame. And if this is what we're getting from Ricochet, I don't know if I want to watch Ricochet on AEW.
I don't know if I want to watch Ricochet unless he leaves the company again and goes a different place. Because I know his talent is elite, but he keeps getting himself in a hole. How does he do it to himself,
it's
bro?
Like this, though. It's like he's one of the best wrestlers, and I say just wrestling.
Wrestling in general,
ever.
Yes.
But when it comes to the mic, he can't sell or tell a story for shit.
The only story you can fucking tell was when he was Prince Puma and King Ricochet.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's
he didn't
sad.
Even say a word. And he didn't even say a word.
He only did those little New Japan backstage promos. And then obviously the vignette cuts with Conan. That's it. But again, that was Conan, a legend, helping him speak about why Prince Puma is so important. Why Prince Puma is a GOAT. Why is he a legend? Why is Prince Puma amazing?
Why is he the future?
Why is he the future? Why is he the future of the business? Conan answered that. And then when he became King Ricochet, okay, he had some storytelling, he had some matches. Him and Will, him and this, him and that. Like, he had stuff to talk about, okay? At least with King Ricochet, he had ideas. He had G1s in mind. He had junior titles in mind. He had tag titles in mind. He at least had motivations. And hell, when he went to WWE, bro, he had motivations. He wanted to be North American champion. He wanted to be NXT champion. But they at least let him speak a little bit. So you got to hear why he's here. Why is he in NXT? Why is he going for the NXT title? Because he wanted to be the best. That's why. And then when obviously the main roster got him, well, we all know what happened. But I gotta at least say, hey, they tried to set up stories for him. Hell, they gave him a story with fucking Logan Paul. They at least tried. They gave him
Yeah,
something.
that could have been something, but unfortunately, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
Or,
unfortunately. But I knew at that point it was the breaking point, so I'm like, well, they tried. I guess
yeah.
it's time to move on. And I respected that. When I heard Ricochet was gone, I was like, you know what?
I respect
You
Ricochet for
peaked. You
leaving.
peaked. I get it.
We love Ricochet for leaving in a way because we want to see what he can do outside of WWE and
Hell
if he
fucking
could be better.
yes.
But
Yes.
and in the beginning when he came to AEW, he was doing all right. But eventually, once he got was able to speak, he hasn't delivered. Not
Like
once.
the only exception was the stuff with ZSJ. That at least had some
Yes.
story to it. It
Yeah.
was him trying to prove who the hell he is in New Japan because
And
feels
for
like
people
people
who don't know,
forgot who he was.
yeah, yeah. And for people
Basically.
that don't know ZSJ, he is the current IWGP World Heavyweight
Yes.
Champion of New Japan Pro Wrestling. That is from a wrestling company in Japan, basically.
One of the best technical wrestlers, if not the best technical wrestler in the world. That
Yep.
dude is elite. I got a chance to watch him in person last year at Forbidden Door. Holy shit. That dude broke all the limbs of Orange Cassidy and then some. But it was great wrestling. Like, if you love blood sport grapple style wrestling, you would love ZSJ. He would be like your fan favorite. And that's how I became a fan of him because he just does things that no other submissionist can do. Like, it's crazy. That's why he's the IWGP right now. And right now, he's in a feud with Goto right now. Another underrated guy. So, they're doing something good over there in New Japan. But regardless, my point is, yeah, like, there's no literal build up to the whole Rico thing. So now him and Swerve tonight, because I believe it's tonight, they're fighting for
Yeah.
no reason. Nothing to fight for. Swerve's just kind of getting a payday at this point. And I hate it. I hate it. There should be storytelling why they're fighting. Not just to put on a 5-star banger. Like, that's not... It don't work anymore. Back in the day, it worked. Because, again, you could do little storytelling and they actually told stories. But now it don't work. People want story in their wrestling. Why do you think Raw on Netflix is working so well right now? It's because storytelling is in wrestling. It's that simple. It is that simple. But that's not even... Oh, well, that's one of the worst offenses. But the other offense is the world title scene. Not because of Moxie and a Powerhouse, of course. I thought they had a great match. But it's what's setting up towards Moxie's next defense. And that's Adam Copeland. Now, again, you're like, wait, you were just talking about Adam Copeland and praising him. Look, I know. I know I was. And I should be. Copeland is back from injury. And I feel I'm happy for him. Because he got hurt and I was worried that maybe he might call it quits. But no, his surgery went well.
Yep.
But then AEW did the thing. They had Copeland immediately go after Moxie. Now again, if Copeland was here before that, just grinding his ass off, winning number one contenderships, and just grinding, then getting it, I'll be like, you know what? He's got a fair case. Fair enough. But brother, he just got
He
back.
just come back and now he's being fed the world title already.
He just got back.
He
And again,
the,
kudos to AEW for making me interested in FTR because I've been wanting to get interested in them in a while.
Yeah.
Rated FTR is a fun team. I like that team.
FTR had some controversy over the last few months. One was over Cash's road rage incident where he supposedly had a gun against someone, and but out of anger, which he shouldn't have. But luckily he's not serving no jail time and just parole. But I do think that was one of the weaker points for FTR. Also, there was just a lot of babbling for no reason, especially with CM Punk. They did babble about CM Punk leaving the company and all that, which they should have just at least kept their mouth shut about that and just moved on with it. But I think now they're in a better place, and I think that they've gotten much better with not saying so much. I hope that they continue that, and seeing that
Dex, you can still talk about how much you fight for your family and stuff. That's fine. I don't mind you. I mean, talk about how much you fight for your family. And same with Cash, same thing. Fight for your family, same thing. We don't mind that. We just feel focus on the product. and not outside. Unless you need to. If you need to say something, then say something. Because I know you've been very hands-on with the hurricane relief. So, good work there. Good man Dax, good man Copeland. And that's how they kind of bond that relationship, was helping out the people with the hurricane relief. Which is, that's a great way to bond. That's a great way to potentially come back and come back stronger than ever. It's a good way to do it. So, but I was already annoyed enough that they changed his name to Cope. I was like, that just sounds wrong.
Damn it.
What the fuck are you doing? Adam Copeland sounded cool. Why the fuck are we calling him Cope? But I was like, you know what? Name, take it or leave it. It is what it is. I didn't care about that. But when that motherfucker said, I'm going after Jon Moxley, I was like, oh no. Because now you really booked yourself in the corner here. Let me explain. Moxley versus Cope. The match itself, generational match right here. Even for Copeland's age, that dude can still go. That's not why I'm frustrated. But the match itself, match could be great, for all I care. I'm fine with that. But it's the way we get there. It's the way we get there. That's my problem. Because if Moxley loses the title to Old Man Cope, firstly, you should have put it on someone younger. And secondly, you're basically showing that you're feeding these WWE older guys and not focusing on your future of your brand. That's a problem. Yeah. But step number 2, you also booked yourself in the corner, because if Moxley wins, Copeland loses his return match. And Copeland just got back. And he's still winning. He's on an undefeated streak right now. And if he loses to Moxley, that's another problem, because now Copeland also lost. So now that's another problem as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and you know, speaking on my thoughts on, you know, that you know, what they're trying to do with that is, now that I think about it, yeah, no, it's a lose-lose situation, because like you said, you know, you got Adam Copeland, aka Edge, who just made his return to AEW after his injury, and not only that though, but was the former TNT champion before Jack Perry and then Daniel Garcia became champions. And now you're making him fight or feud with Jon Moxley, the world champion, which I understand we want to see this as a dream match.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a dream match at the end of the day that could deliver.
Oh, yeah.
But this is just the wrong time and too early to do this.
Yeah, way too early.
Too early.
Way too early.
You know, regarding Moxley, you know, and he hasn't had really a very strong reign, or hasn't had really a long enough reign to sit here and say, oh, okay, let's you know, let Copeland win it off Moxley, or, you know, Copeland's gonna beat Moxley though. Now, if Copeland did not get injured, if Edge did not get injured, then we would have had a case of, okay, yeah, maybe it's time to give, you know, Edge, aka Adam Copeland, the AEW World Title. Or give, you know,
or at least an opportunity to win it.
Yes, or an opportunity to win it.
Yeah.
But with Moxley, on the other hand, you know, with his, you know, loss, if he does win it, Copeland gets his first big loss in AEW. While he has had no build, he's about to do a 1v1 match against Pac. So that's gonna be another dream match tonight.
Which is basically, it's really lazy booking. Like, it's nothing new. Yes. It's have Copeland fight all the members to get to Moxley. We did the same story with Maxwell, did the same story with Danielson, we did the same story with Swerve, same story with this guy. You know what they could have done with this? You know what? It's
repetitive.
What they
could have done with this? And not to say it's, you know, that they shouldn't have done that, which they should, but not all the time. And you know what I think they should have done? Have him fight the former contenders for the world title. Have him fight Jay White. Have him fight Hangman Adam Page. Have him fight Orange Cassidy. Like, have him fight the real contenders for the world heavyweight title. Not the lackeys all the time. Not to disrespect Pac, Claudio, and Yuta.
And Yuta, no.
But, you know, that's the truth of it. They are the lackeys to Jon Moxley. They are with Jon Moxley in all of this. Yeah. And with the Death Riders is that you know, this group has so much potential to, you know, be one of the biggest things in AEW, but to tell you the truth, it's been a failure. after the rumors of supposedly Shane McMahon trying to go to AEW and sign up AEW, it seems like that thing has died and withered into nothing basically, and those stories aren't
But
true.
Moxie's been saying all these promos of like a higher up caused all this, but we don't even know who the higher up is.
Yeah,
It's
we
just
should have
gibberish
had,
at this point.
but at this point we should have had to have known what the higher up is at least
Yeah.
by the last pay per view, which was what was it again? Was
World's
it Full Gear? Oh,
End?
World's End. World's End. That's where you should have brought up the higher up, whoever it was.
Or at least set it up for next year, the next Dynamite, or the Dynamite after
And
that. We're gonna
yes,
get the
or
reveal.
if it
Who is it?
wasn't, if it wasn't, Shane McMahon, it should have been Nigel McGuinness.
Or someone that makes sense is what I'm trying.
Yes, or
Is
someone
what
that
Manny's
makes
trying to
sense.
say. Someone that makes
Yes.
sense in Moxley's life is what we're trying to get at. Because
Yes.
one thing I could say is the Blackpool Combat Club was a success. It
Yes.
was, but that's because William Regal was the head of it. It was him,
Yeah.
Danielson, and Mox at the head of the table when it came to the BCC. But honestly, I'd rather have that group than what we have right now,
Yeah.
which is just
And it's been rough. And also,
it's a
let me
watered
bring
down
another.
version, is what it
Yeah,
is to me.
and let me bring another thing to that. And the thing is that these guys have been competing, in tag matches, numerous of times, 1v1 singles. Yet you don't give them a tag match. They deserve the tag team titles, or they did. They deserve the tag team titles more than the trios titles. Honestly.
At least a shot at Private
Yeah,
Party,
or
because
at least a shot.
Private Party is at least getting challengers on Collision. They're fighting teams left and right. They're not leaving them behind,
And
which
look
is
at the story
good.
that they did, and look at the story that they did with Private Party not too long ago. They should have fought for the tag team titles, even either there or sooner, because it is honestly ridiculous how they've had so many one-win wins, tag team wins, undefeated wins, by the way, and they did not get a shot at the tag team titles. But no, they got a shot at the trios titles, which honestly I feel like that division's dead.
Yeah,
That
the
division's
division's
dead
dead. Great
at this
idea on
point.
paper, but they never
You,
executed on it
you,
at
you
all.
just haven't delivered lately with that, and
Yeah,
it's just failing at this point.
it's a failure.
AEW is failing.
Yeah, that's
Do we
basically
want? Yeah.
that's
What
basically
this whole
what
rant
that's
is
basically
about.
what it is. Yeah, but for me, like, yeah, I do agree with the whole Pirate Party thing, and like I said, I'm very happy that the Hurt Syndicate, one of the new things that are on Dynamite right now, is getting a tag title match tonight. I'm happy about that because they've been working. They've been doing matches. They've been consistent. That's how it should be for every tag team. Which luckily that's been the case. Like their last match they had was I think it was Action Andretti and Leo. They've been on Collision grinding, working their tail off to get this opportunity. So they earned the shot against Private Party. The teams that had Private Party's first defense earned. They earned it on Collision in a contender series. They earned all of it. So generally, it's been earned. So Private Party's run so far has been earn your title match, you get to fight Private Party, which is how it should have been from the get-go. So I'm happy that it's happening now, and their reign so far has been pretty solid, it seems like, so good for them.
Yeah.
But in general, yeah, I think the Death Riders should have been one of the first, if not the first few, to be in that conversation of, A, let me, you know, let them take the shot, basically. And I do agree.
Yeah. Let them get a shot at the tag titles.
And then we could focus on other teams. But no, they had the whole trios thing, so they had to like clear that up. Unfortunately. But again, that's not even like the biggest problem with it. It's just
No.
Copeland getting a shot at Mox right now. It's like the worst timing in the world. Because
Worst
you
timing.
wanna establish Moxie's got challengers. Because we wanna have Mox have a strong reign going into double nothing. Because he'll probably lose it either double or nothing or potentially all in Texas. I think it's all in Texas this year. So
Yeah.
one of those shows, Mox probably gonna drop it. But again,
Or lose it.
you
Yeah.
don't want it to be an old star. You want it to be a young, fresh guy. That's what you want. But
Darby
again,
Allin, basically.
yeah, you want like a Darby Allin situation. But again, well, Obviously, Darby's doing something crazy right now. He's actually going to be climbing Mount Everest. Good luck to him. But in general, like, you need a guy like that. But AEW doesn't have a guy built up like that to go after Moxley. So they have to use Copeland, which sucks, but you have to. Because you don't have anybody built up. If you had people built up, you wouldn't have to use Copeland. Yeah. You wouldn't have to. Oh, and another thing about the whole Copeland thing. What about the Daniel Garcia thing? Didn't Edge have to relinquish the title because he got hurt and Daniel Garcia won it? Wouldn't you want to run that back? Copeland, your motivations are
there was
screwed.
a little story. And there was a little story with that even before the, when Copeland was champion and Daniel Garcia congratulated him. Or the opposite. Even before Copeland became, the champion.
Copeland, your motivations are screwed. You should have been going after Daniel Garcia, if anything. You should have went after Daniel Garcia. Not Mox. Because even if you don't win the TNT title back, you at least had a good title defense under your belt before you go after Mox. Just a fact. But no, you went right for Mox.
No, you just skipped to the world title scene without even technically earning it.
Not even earning it. Because, like, right now, Daniel Garcia's feud right now is Kyle O'Reilly. Right now.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, Kyle O'Reilly.
And I can't lie, though, but once again, Tony Khan is favoring ex-WWE guys over his talent that he's actually, has.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's true.
The younger talent and everything. And, it shows that Tony Khan doesn't care about his young stars.
The only young star he seems like he cares about is Konosuke Kikeshita. That's it. Like, that's really it. But Konosuke's doing it on his own because of the triple title or the double title thing he has, where he goes to 3 different brands. He goes to New Japan. He goes to AEW. He goes to DDT Pro.
Yeah.
And then he comes back. And he continues that cycle.
Yep. Yeah. Now, the only exception with, ex-WWE guys is that you can't say that Adam Cole or the Undisputed, era are technically ex-WWE guys. Even though they did came from WWE not too long ago.
That's true.
But where did they start at? Ring of Honor.
ROH and PWG.
The independent scene.
Yeah.
You cannot consider them fully ex-WWE guys.
You could say that, but I'd be like, technicality. Because
you can't say fully.
You can't say fully. Can't say fully. Same for Cody. He's a WWE guy. You can't say he's full ROH. You could say his run in ROH was great because it was, but you can't say Cody Rhodes is a full ex ROH guy. Can't say that. Can't do that. You could say he was a former employee. You could say that, but you can't say he was an ex ROH guy. He was an ex WWE guy. So there's a difference. But yeah, so that's why the one exception I'll give is Cole O'Reilly and Strong, because those guys were ROH guys for life, and then they went to NXT and truly got their bigger name out there in a bigger brand. So that one I'm like, you know what? It's cool. It's whatever. But yeah, the Copeland thing, that's not good stuff there. So that's how the product is going. But that's not the other reason why I'm gonna stop watching AEW. Probably for the long haul. It's not only the drama that I'm going to add to this, but the contract negotiations are also suspect. Let me explain.
Yeah.
So in the Vince McMahon era, okay, he used to do this thing for stars that wanted out, unless you release them straight up. Add injury time and freeze the contract for more years because of your injury. One of the most scummiest things about contracts. I hate when they do that. But again, it hasn't been seen in a while. Yeah, WWE hasn't done that recently. WWE has actually been like, if you want out, you can want out. You don't have to re-sign with us. That's the difference between Triple H and Vince McMahon's era. Like for Ricochet, for instance, they could have totally freezed Ricochet for injury time. But did they do it? No, they didn't. They let him walk. Like, oh, you want out? Go ahead. Be my guest. You're gone. They didn't even need to release him. They just let his contract expire. Which is respectable. I understand that. And then they would just release guys that they think need to get released. Which, some I disagree with, but some I'm like, yeah, they weren't doing nothing with them. Might as well release them. See what he can do in the indies. So WWE is doing it right. And for a long time, AEW was doing the same thing. contract people want out of contracts, they can get you out of contracts. Like, they had like Sadie Gibb way back then, that woman from Australia. She wanted out of her contract because of unfortunate, I think it was like a controversy that happened backstage.
Yeah.
And AEW was really gracious that you want out of your contract, you can get out of your contract. But they didn't freeze time. It was just more of, there was even no complete clause either. She could just wrestle wherever she wants. And same with Kylie Ray. Kylie Ray had a big situation. They also let her go. But also not in like a bad way. Like, it just kind of let her contract go. Like, they didn't freeze her or anything. They said you could just go. So I thought that was going to be the difference, because WWE would freeze contracts while AEW lets people go with their contract if they want out. But the stuff that's happened recently has taken a turn.
I guess that's changed. Let's
Because,
just say that. I guess that's changed.
now I will repeat this. Has WWE done that recently? No.
Yes.
WWE's been
No,
letting
not
people
recently.
out of their contract if they want out. So let's say someone feels like I'm valued somewhere else, or I just want a new fresh scenery. Triple H and the team has been very gracious and said, you want out of your contract? We can get you out of your contract. Just give us some time. And then they'll announce the person is either leaving this summer, or their contract is expiring and they're going to let it expire. Or basically, when people ask, are they adding injury time to this person? 9 times out of 10, the sources have said no. No injury time added. They're allowed to wrestle whenever they want. Right? So, luckily, WWE has learned from that lesson and has not done it as much. Good on them. But recently, AEW, they broke their word. Is what I'm trying. They broke their promise. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because back
They've
then,
changed.
Tony said back then, I ain't freezing contracts. I'm gonna let them walk. They want out, I can let them out of their contract early. I have the power. Good man, gracious man, right? You would think. But after the recent people that want out,
The true colors are revealed.
not so much. Not so much at all. So I'll start with the lighter situation, and then I'll get to the most recent situation, which really pissed me off. Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks, for the longest, has been interested and has had interest from WWE. Ever since Ricky Starks has been off TV after the match with Big Bill in the tag team tournament, he's been gone. Hasn't been on TV, hasn't been seen. And we were wondering if it was maybe injury, or maybe they're just trying to figure out a story for him. They don't got anything to do with him. But actually, it was a mix of both. He not only got punished for no reason, but also no plans, which is crazy to think about. Because Ricky Starks could be fighting Jon Moxley right now. He's one of your young guys. He's one of your homegrown. Don't you want to book him? Just a thought. Just saying. My point is basically they're not doing anything with them. And it's sad, because Ricky Starks' promo is so unique. He's charismatic. He's a great wrestler. He's a great guy. Why is he not wrestling?
And you know what it's because of? Because of him visiting Cody Rhodes at Mania.
What'd you say? Say it again?
That the reason why they aren't letting him be on AEW is because of him visiting Cody at WrestleMania. Because they assume that he's going to WWE. They assumed. When he's made it pretty clear, and especially in Chris Van Vliet's podcast, which, you know, for those who don't know Chris Van Vliet, he's one of the best podcasters for
when it comes to wrestling. He has some of the best interviews. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And another thing about that interview was not planned. He did not talk to AEW representative about that interview. He did that on his own. So good for Ricky Starks. He went on Chris Van Vliet and aired out the room. He aired it out.
And he made it clear on that podcast that he says, I'm waiting. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on backstage, but I want to compete. He wants to compete.
He wants to wrestle. He wants to go over. He wants to do it.
But
yeah. And and another thing he also said.
He
also said another thing, because Chris Van Vliet asked him about the CTV footage of when he went for the Rumble. You want to hear the craziest thing?
That was
Tony gave him the okay. Tony gave him the okay. Tony said, you want to go support? You want to go support Cody? Go ahead. Go support Cody. I'm all right with it. But then he does the one for Mania, and you felt away after the one he did in Mania, after Cody's biggest moment? Ricky Starks and Cody Rhodes are the bestest of friends. He can't go support his friend? What are we doing here? What the hell are we doing here? What the hell are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like I understand, but again, here's the difference
like
though.
what's wrong with
Ricky
you?
Starks is still
Yeah.
signed, so he can't even talk to Triple H. He can't even talk to WWE yet. So why would you punish him for that? He just wanted to support Cody.
And not only that, though, he said
I
he's
don't
still
get
willing
it.
to, that he was willing to compete for you guys. Yet you have
Yes.
not given him no spotlight at all to show
No
his ability of
story.
why
Where's
he's
the
considered
creative for
anything.
him? You can't even get him on like
Why isn't
Collision
he
just
on
doing
TV?
matches?
Why isn't he
Something.
on TV? And this is because at the end of the day, AEW, you're mad because of what he did because of him visiting a friend. That's it. Sad, childish, all of the above. For
BS behavior, bro.
y'all are really jealous.
Bro, it's not that serious. Bro, WWE did the same
Yeah,
thing when they were doing the celebration in AEW. They let their stars like like other like stars go to Raw and talk about certain things. Like for I think it was like the celebration. I think they had Jericho before he got signed to AEW. He went to
yeah,
Raw, but that was before he was an AEW superstar. But then he sent the video about a celebration for I think there was like they were celebrating like a anniversary, and Jericho sent the video over, and Danielson sent the video over, and Big Show sent the video over, and Mark Henry who
yeah.
was still with AEW. Like a lot of those guys got the okay from Tony to send the video over. Just the fact. Like it showed that Tony was willing to let some of their stars be on WWE television with no issue. But now you have an issue with it because you're thinking, oh, Ricky Starks can start talking to
You're
WWE.
assuming.
No,
You're
he
assuming.
can't. He's contracted to you. How do you not know how contracts work? If you're contracted, you can't talk to the other company. It's as simple as that. Why do you think Jordan Grace can't talk to WWE yet? Because he's still contracted to TNA or contract's not up yet. Josh Alexander, same thing. Contract's not up yet. Once they say her contract is up, which it is up right now, so contract talks can happen right now as we speak. It could
Yeah.
happen.
Well, no, they probably are
They're
happening.
basically
They
probably
probably
happening
are.
in the next couple of days, basically, is what my point is. But I'm just
Yeah, they
saying
probably are happening.
at the time, she was still contracted. She had to finish her match with Tessa,
Yeah.
and then she could be let go. So now she's done with TNA. She took it off her Twitter. Now she's free agent. Now she can do whatever she wants. Now she can go where she wants to go. But again, that's not the same thing for Ricky. Ricky's contract is not expiring because it's your contract. He can't talk to WWE because he's still contracted. That's the difference. That's why I'm very glad you didn't screw over Penta, because Penta had the same situation. He couldn't talk to WWE in the middle of the season. He couldn't do it. He had to
No.
wait until the end of December to talk to WWE because the contract was still up. And then the contract got expired. And then they started planting seeds. And then Penta signed on the dotted line. But he had to wait for the contract to expire. So my problem is why are you punishing Ricky for going to see a friend who, by the way, was formerly in your company, by the way, and is doing way better stuff than what you were doing with him, firstly. But also, just supporting a friend. Ricky said it from account. He can't talk to WWE. He can't talk to anybody. Not yet. When the contract expires, then we could talk business. But again, he's still contracted to you guys. Again, we don't even know when that contract's gonna goddamn expire yet. We don't even fucking know. But you still punish him? What the fuck are we doing here? Like, what are we doing here?
And you punish him when he says that he wants to be on TV.
He wants to wrestle. It's not a dude where he's like frustrated as, oh, like I hate my booking. No, he just wants to wrestle. He's
And he wants
passionate
to know,
about
and
it.
not just that though, but he wants to know what the fuck is going on.
He wants to know what's going on. And
And what?
like I said, here's the crazy thing. I think it was in late December because GCW was doing a show, and Ricky
Yes.
went to the mall, which was planned by the way. He did ask AEW for a blessing, and AEW gave it to him before the whole FE comments and yada 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 whatever, right?
Yeah.
You still punished him anyway because you basically said he can't wrestle for those comments, which I mean, fair enough. But my point is you still punish him and he has to wait until the new year to get a wrestling date with Hog. Like, that doesn't compute. Like, generally, there's no way all those writers back there, again, I'm not saying any names. Like I said, I give a lot of shout outs to guys like Chris Hero, who does the matches. Fair enough. But none of those guys back there, none of them, had plans for Ricky Starks. Your big giant roster, you want something fresh? You don't pick Ricky Starks?
I mean, you guys claim that AEW is the best wrestler, right? So why aren't you putting your best wrestlers
Why are you not putting Ricky Starks?
You're on TV? Why aren't
Why are
you
you not
putting
putting
your
Ricky
best
Starks?
wrestlers in
Why
the
are you not
picture?
putting Ricky Starks? That's generally my question. Why are you not putting Ricky Starks? He's one of your best you got. He's in that epsilon with guys like Maxwell. And you're not using him. If you're not using him, just let him be free. If you don't mess with him anymore, fine. Just let him out. It's not that simple. It's that simple. Let him out.
Let him
Just
go.
let him out. You're not doing anything with him. If you have plans for him, then fine. But you don't have plans for him. If you had plans seated for him, fine. Do something with him. So he could write out his contract. But you're not doing anything with him. So all Ricky can do is just sit home and get paid. But that's not what Ricky wants to do. Ricky wants to wrestle. That's it. He just wants to wrestle. Even if he's in like the worst storyline, he just wants to wrestle. Hell, even if you got to put him in a storyline with the learning tree, he still just wants to wrestle. Even if it's a bad match, he don't give a shit. He just wants to wrestle. That's the sad part. He's so passionate about the business. It's like he can't get let free and just wrestle.
Yeah.
I bet that match at Hog, I bet that match at HOG was the most free he felt in months.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Because he got to wrestle a full 20-plus match, 20-minute match with Mike Santana, who's another very popular guy in TNA, who's also wrestling absolute bangers.
He was also a former AEW wrestler. And you know why he left AEW? Not only because of, the injury, though, but because of AEW management did not want to give him a singles run. They wanted to put him and Ortiz still together. And he wanted to better his career while Ortiz wanted to stay in the same place. And that's not what he's trying to do. That's not what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And he said, I'm going to take the risk. Yeah. I'm going to take the shot to be a successful single star. And now look what he is.
Santana basically put out this really emotional video from him in the Bronx in his home, which I thought was really touching. And he talked about his alcohol issues and his demons and just trying to figure out what he's going to do next. Like, figure out what's next for him. And then once the opportunity opened up that he can get back into wrestling, he was like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to, take rehab, I need to help myself, and then come back to do something that I love. And that's professional wrestling. And he even told a really emotional story, I think it was like with Chris Van Fleet, shout out to Chris Van Fleet again, about like where his daughter landed and everything with him and having alcohol issues and everything. And it was such a sad story. I was like, I feel for you, man. Watching your daughter saying, what is my father anymore? I'm like, oh, that sucks. But the best part about it, he used that motivation. He picked himself back up. He stopped the whole drinking thing, and now he's better than ever. Bro was ripped. He's not, because when he came back to AEW, he was definitely a little bit of a chubbier guy. Still very good, but chubby. But when he left AEW, that dude got skinny, got ripped, and looked like the Santana of old. Like, that dude looked like young Santana, like LAX Santana type vibe. That's how I feel it is. It's a hybrid. That's how I feel it is. It's like a hybrid of his LAX run and his tag team title run with Ortiz. Like, it's that kind of mix. But the difference is, he's going for world titles. He's going for bigger goals. He said, screw the tag titles. I'm going for bigger goals. I want world titles.
And that's what he wanted. He wanted something better. He wanted something better and more for himself than what AEW was trying to do.
Because
Because he asked for AEW's blessing to like be like, nah, I mean, I want to go singles, and AEW was like, no, not at
Yeah.
all. I think you should still work it out with Ortiz. I believe they said work it out with Ortiz, and Santana's like, I'm sorry, no. I'm sorry, no. And
No.
plus, you know, him and his partner had disagreements about how the team should be
Yeah.
rolling. And,
Yeah.
you know, he was like, no, I'm sorry, bro. I love you, but I'm not doing this anymore. And, you know, of course, you know,
Oh.
there was some backlash to it, and yeah, that
Oh.
was it.
Oh, Ortiz. I just want to say one thing. I'm just saying this now. If you would have worked it out with Santana, you would be on the same stage with him right now, probably fighting the Hardy Boys. I swear, I'm telling you. Because TNA would have taken you back so quickly, it's not even funny. No,
And
I'm
I think that
telling
they
you.
would have loved to have the former longest reigning tag team champions there, probably.
Oh my god, yeah. LAX and Hardy Boys? A match we never saw? I'll take my money, bro. Like, absolutely take my money. So I'm just
Dream
saying,
match.
like, dream match right
And
there. So
I hope that we get it one day still.
I hope
But
I
you
hope
know,
Ortiz
I hope
figures it
that
out and
Ortiz in
gets
a
out of there,
way,
bro. Like,
yeah, that Ortiz and Santana
I
can,
want the best Ortiz. Like, I've seen like former
yeah,
relationships. Like, I've seen like I think it was like these two YouTubers that like they broke they broke out or whatever. They went away from each other for a while, but then they
yeah,
reformed and they had a stronger bond. So I'm
yeah.
hoping maybe in the future, if they can get into talking terms when Ortiz finally gets out of AEW, maybe, slight chance, maybe we get something there and they could kind of hash it out, because I would love for Ortiz and Santana to get back on the same page, because I think team outside of AEW has so much potential. Hell, it don't even need to be like an LAX reunion. It could just be something new for those two, because Ortiz got talent. He just needs to get out of this hole. If he gets out of this hole and finally goes somewhere else, I mean, they might cross paths. Never say never. You know, in
Yeah,
wrestling,
never say never.
dude, never say never, bro. So generally, I'm proud of Mike Santana. I'm proud of him, and I'm very happy for him. But my point is, what I'm trying to say is, the Ricky Starks thing was already one fuck up. But we're not even done yet. This shit right here is the reason why I don't want to hear a peep about All Elite, contracts for them, and drama anymore. This shit pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah,
People,
and honestly,
people.
yeah,
No, let me explain that. I gotta explain this. I'm tired of letting this sit.
yep.
People were asking me, because I'm the guy that watched Penta a lot in AEW. Doesn't Penta
Oh,
have
so am
a
I.
hell? Even my friend Tyrese asked me, because Tyrese is a very good wrestling fan. He was like, "Hey, didn't Penta have a partner?" And I said,
His brother.
I was like, "Yeah, he did. You know what his name is?" And he said, "Ray Phoenix." I'm like, "Now you're getting it." And he's like, "Where is he?" "Oh, you want to know where he is? He's stuck in hell. He's stuck in AEW. And you
He's
know
stuck.
why? You know why? Because they froze that motherfucker's contract for injury time. So now we have to wait the rest of the year for him to leave. Now he's stuck. Now he can't get out. Because his contract was set to expire the same time as Penta's. But AEW said, no, let's screw Penta over, let's screw the fans over, and add injury time.
Yeah. And the whole point
Mother.
now is to stop to stop WWE now, I guess, and that's the goal, to stop WWE from getting their stars now, just like how they did to WWE.
It basically is like, they
And
basically
I think
felt the
that's what Vince
ways.
was trying to do in the
Yeah,
beginning. That's what Vince did.
no.
And now
That's what
Tony
Vince
Khan is
did.
doing the same
That's what
thing.
Vince did to guys like Luke Harper and guys like Eric Rowan. Like, he did to a ton of people, a ton of women as well. He did the same thing. But my point is, basically, AEW got really nervous and almost scared that Penta and Ray can leave AEW right on the spot. Because again, Penta's contract was going to expire. They were not re-signing. Penta was out of there. So fair
Yeah,
enough.
no.
But then when they heard Ray's contract comes at the same time, they're like, "Oh, we could definitely stop this. You know, we're gonna screw Penta. We're gonna screw the fans. We're gonna keep Ray." And that just pissed off the whole wrestling space. Nobody is messing with AEW right now because of the stunt they just pulled. Because again, we
Yeah.
haven't heard anything about freeze time in years. Like most 9 times out of 10, the only time a contract gets frozen is because someone did it bad and they can't really release them yet, and then they just let their contract expire. 9 times out of 10. But freezing a contract mid expiring to give him more time before he can leave, that's just diabolical. That's just diabolical. Like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, bro. Like, oh my god. Like, that is just evil. Like, oh my god. Like, imagine you're like, you and your brother. They're like, hey, we need to move on. We need to do something different. We need a new brand. We need a fresh start. Let's go to a different company and rebuild. And then Penta's like, hey, he's in talks with WWE. He's ready to sign. And then Penta's like, hey, you want to sign with me? And Ray probably like, yeah, sign with me. And then the other company's like, oh, no, 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 no. No. Ray, you can't go with your brother. And Ray's like, why? Why can't I go with my brother? Because we're adding injury time to your contract and you're stuck. Goodbye. And basically throw the bird. They basically threw the bird at Ray. They said, bird. And gone. Like, you literally took a moment away from Ray. Because it could have been Ray and Penta debuting together. And again, they did Penta's debut fantastic. And I'm happy he's going singles right now. But when his brother gets to WWE,
Yeah.
it's over for the tag division when Ray gets over there. Because Ray's going to go there. Ray's going to look at AEW and say, like, you screwed me over. Take the bird. I'm leaving. I'm out. Like, I'm out. Because, I don't blame Ray at that point. Ray should be with Penta right now,
neither.
debuting in the tag division and tearing up tag teams right now. That's what they should be doing. And not to say Penta is a great singles wrestler, because he is. And I'm happy he's getting that singles run that is well deserved. But I would have loved to see Ray with him debuting together, the Lucha Bros. It makes so much sense. But what did AEW have to do? Ruin the fun, screw the fans over, and say screw Ray Phoenix. Because guess what? You're going to do what you did to Ricky Starks. You're not going to book him. You're not going to put him back on TV. You're going to let him sit out his contract and let him suffer.
Yeah.
This is why we don't like you. This is why. Because you do evil like this.
Yeah.
I get it, you're business, but what the fuck?
And now, no, it's not just that though, bro. Now you've shown your true colors of what you are. You've shown true colors of what you claim to have hated. And now you're doing exactly the same thing that your predecessor, your former rival in Vince McMahon, did. And you say you are nothing like him, nor do you want to be like him. But yet you're doing the same thing. We want your company to be good. We want your company to be, on fire, just like WWE has been. But your stories, your effort, what you have done to your talent that you claim that you care about, have been shitty. You have not done a very good job, AEW and Tony Khan. No, sirs, you have not. All you've done is show everyone what a piece of shit you are. And if y'all are gonna keep on doing this, if y'all are gonna keep holding talent hostage, if y'all are gonna keep doing shows with no effort, then what's the whole point of watching you anymore? I was a big AEW fan, and same with Brian here. We have both been big AEW fans since the beginning, since y'all had the dream and vision to start this company. And for a while,
when you announced
go
a
ahead.
TV deal, big network, TNT, Turner Sports, I was excited. Washington D.C., Cody Rhodes versus Sammy Guevara, fantastic opening match. I was like, this is the quality I want to see, and it got better. Inner Circle at the end of the night with some of AEW's top stars, Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley the following week. Like, oh my god, like. Cook, bro, cook. Like, generally, cook, bro, cook. Like, it was so good. It was such a good time. Guys like Kip Sabian was on TV more. There was guys like, there was guys like Riho. There was Nyla Rose who was solid. Like, there was so many good homegrown Hangman. Oh, it was such a good time.
There was so many. Excuse me. There was so many homegrown talent, amazing talent, woman and female, No, and
And
trans or
you
whatever,
still had
whatever
your
the time is.
you still had your sprinkle of WWE guys. Like, Cody was there. You had like your
Yeah.
sprinkle guys. You had your veterans from WWE, like Jericho. But it wasn't nothing like crazy, right? Nothing was crazy. But it was still cool. Like, we got a chance to see Jericho every week. Got a chance to see Kenny Omega every week. Got a chance to see Young Bucks every week. Private Party was one of my favorite teams at the time. Inner Circle was really fun. They had, brother, they gave Jack Swagger look serious, like Jake Hager.
At the time, yeah. No,
Crazy.
they did.
Like what? Like
But
a
now
team of
you turn to
Sammy. No, no. Like, listen to this team real quick before I let you go.
yeah.
Listen to this team. Chris Jericho, the leader. Sammy Guevara, young talent. You had the Street Boys. You had former LAX Ortiz and Santana. Jake Hager. And then you had your females. You had Ty Conte, and then you added Anna Jay later, because Anna Jay joined, went to Dark Order. Then May, God rest in peace, Brody Lee passed away, so she went with Jericho for the rest of the Inner Circle run, because to team up with Ty Conte, basically. So, but dude, that team on paper was insane. Even though I unfortunately still call it a failure, I still enjoyed the Inner Circle for what it was. The stuff with
And
Maxwell, the
and there was fun
musical,
times with the Inner Circle.
it was. The stuff with
Very fun
Sammy,
times.
the Sammy golf cart, the Stadium Stampede, the stuff with Matt Hardy, the Maxwell Jericho musical, like, bro, like, it was so good. It was so good. Hell, even going into 2022, remember when Maxwell and Jericho did their feud and Jericho couldn't sing his song and the fans had to do it?
Yeah.
Excellent. Like, moments like that, I'll always treasure forever in AEW. Some of the biggest signees, like Will Ospreay and the return of Kenny and the Elite and the crossover with TNA and Rick Schwann, and I'll remember all of that. Don't get me wrong. But this back half, 2023 through 2024
Yeah.
and
What it is now,
2025,
what it is now,
I'm not gonna remember
I
a
think we could
single
say.
moment. I'm not gonna remember a single moment. Like, maybe the only thing I'll remember is the back half of 2024 with like Will Ospreay and the Continental and matches like that stuff I'll remember,
Yeah.
because those were
And
great.
not only that though, but for me, but I think Swerve winning the world title was another one.
Yeah, that's another good one. That was a man that worked his tail off to get to that spot. Beat Samoa Joe, who had a good reign with it. Yeah, I agree with that one
And
100%.
not only that personally, but he was probably the best. He's probably the best champion right now.
He's basically one of the top. Like, he is in that like that list, like Maxwell and Kenny and people like that. I agree. I 100% agree. I think Swerve's run was very good with that world title. It really proved that he is that guy. He's legit. So, shout out to Swerve. But my point is
Yeah.
basically is anything before 2025, I'm gonna cherish forever. But
Yeah.
everything going forward, I don't want to hear it. I don't
It's
want to
not look.
hear a
It's not
thing.
looking good.
I don't want to
It's
hear it.
not looking good.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear a thing about All Elite. I don't want to have a conversation about it. I don't even want to know the name. You don't even get. I didn't even name you AEW in the title. I named you AE frauds. That's what I called you. Cause you're frauds. You're frauds. You're not. You're not. You're frauds. You're literally scamming all of us. You're scamming all
Actually,
of us.
all ego wrestling. I can't lie.
Fair.
Because the egos are insane.
Yeah. No. Oh my God. Yeah. The egos are absolutely insanity. And another thing as well. I'm very thankful. It seems like finally, after years of rumors of this guy leaving, the Malachi saga might finally be over. There's been a lot of traction about that. It's made me depressed to talk about Malachi. And it sucks because I wanted to be really hyped for him this year. But in that first half, with the whole contract thing of he might go, but he might not. He might be like I until it says contract expired or he shows up at the Royal Rumble or Raw or something, I wasn't getting hyped. But now looking at the news every day, it's looking brighter and brighter every day. It doesn't look like AEW is going to add injury time. He's going to be free. And I'm glad. I'm glad Malachi is finally going to be free and we can end this contract saga. And the best part about it, one of the best goddamn part about it, they see Malachi as a high talent. He's not going to be just in the mid card chilling. No, no, no. Triple H has plans with him. Triple H wants to make him a high level champion, like world title type. Like he's going to be in that division. Which if he's in that
Yep.
division, Seth Rollins versus Malachi, Drew McIntyre versus Malachi, CM Punk versus Malachi. Like it goes on and on and on and on. Like I could just think of so many things. It's crazy. So Malachi gets out of there, bro. Good for him. I'm happy for him. I hope his buddies follow him, Brody and Buddy. I hope those two follow him in the future when their contracts come up. Go follow him to AEW. The House of Black and WWE can go stupid. I'm telling you, that shit can go dumb.
Oh no, it could. It really could.
That shit.
And I hope that they do that. I hope especially Brody King can go to WWE because I know they're gonna tear it up if he does.
Dude, Brody versus Jacob, Brody versus Braun, Brody versus this guy, Brody versus Seth. Like you could do so many matchups. Like, bro, Kings of the Black Throne versus DIY. Bro,
insane.
Take my fucking money. No. Kings of the Black Throne versus Motor City Machine Guns. Take my money, bro. Take it all. At that point, take it. So, but to wrap it up with this conversation, like I announced earlier, and honestly, this rant has gone for so long, I'm probably just going to do a quick overview of Raw because I'm beat up. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Normal stuff tomorrow, okay? I got y'all. Normal stuff tomorrow on Saturday night's main event predictions. We'll be back to normal. But I'm sorry, we just had to get this out. We were so frustrated, we had to get it out. So, it's out. So, we'll do a quick overview of Raw after this. We'll run through it quick. And then we'll let y'all go. But my point is I'm done with the brand. I'm done with it. You could, again, if you want to still ask about All Elite, you can. But note, we're probably not going to give you the best answers as we usually do because we're not going to be watching the product. So if you give us any like updates on it, be my guest. We can react to it. But don't expect anything AEW related on this channel. Probably for a while.
Because, in our opinions, we feel that AEW has failed us.
Yeah. We feel the brand...
And has been revealed as a toxic environment.
There were times where I had to defend... Like I said, I was fine with defending the 2022 to 2023 brands. I was okay with defending all of those. And a little bit of 2024. But 2025 and beyond, I can't defend it anymore. I can't pretend it's a good product. I can't do it. It hurts my soul. I can't do it. And it's ruining my wrestling experience. That's why now TNA takes over that spot. Because at least TNA, I'm excited about it. Like, tomorrow is a big TNA show tomorrow. And I'm going to watch the hell out of that. I'm super excited for that. Joe Hendry talks for the first time. World Tag Team title match for NXT with Fraxium and Rascals. Dream match. Potential stuff with Masha. I know Masha's doing 6-man women's action. Could see Cora Jade there. There's a lot. There's a lot to like. There's a lot to like for tomorrow's live TNA. Tomorrow. There's a lot to like. So, I'm going to talk about that more exciting stuff and not focus on the garbage trash that is All Elite.
Yeah.
Because I can't. I can't do it anymore. I've given my soul and energy to this brand. Now, again, I'm not one of those crazy fans that's going to burn all my merchandise and stuff. No, I'm not that crazy person. Relax.
No,
it's not that deep. It's not that deep. But I will keep my merch and stuff. I'm gonna wear them. I'm gonna wear shirts because I like their shirts. I have cool designs. I'm gonna wear them. I'm not gonna let them sit there. But just know the reason I'm wearing, because before I used to do it out of support, and technically I am still supporting that wrestler. But now when I wear AEW merch, I'm not doing it for the company. I'm doing it for the wrestler, which is a whole different thing. It's a whole different thing. I used to do it for both. I used to do it for the wrestler and the company. Like WWE merch, when I wear my Rollins shirts or my Roman shirts, I do it for the wrestler and the company.
Yeah.
These shirts I'm going to wear, so if I have like a Pride and Powerful or a Danhausen or something like that, I am only going to wear it for the wrestler, not the brand. There's a difference.
Yeah.
Massive
and the
difference.
thing, though, with that, though, is that, to be honest, the shirts lately have been terrible.
Yeah,
They've
lately
been
it's been
terrible.
rough.
They've been terrible.
Like, don't get me wrong, like, the top brands, so like Will, Kenny, Young Bucks, Swerve, people like that, those shirts, oh, Hurt Syndicate's another one, those are good. Like, those shirts, quality, good shirts. But anything but enough the mid card, bad shirts. Like, a lot of the designs, I don't love them. I don't love a lot of the designs at all. Like, it just doesn't like bode well. And don't get me wrong, am I one of the ones that wanted a Sesame Daddy ass shirt? Yeah, but the difference is at least the gimmick was funny. Like, I could at least
Yeah.
get with the gimmick because it was hilarious. So wearing that shirt, I wouldn't feel bad wearing it. Basically, is what I'm trying to get at. Or like the Brochacho shirt. Again, weird
Yeah.
shirt, but at least I can
Great
get with it
times.
because I liked the gimmick. I liked the
It was great
idea of
times. It
Maxwell
was
and Cole being a
yeah.
bromance. I liked that idea.
It was great times in the AEW.
Oh yeah, 100%. So yeah, so whenever I have merch in my thing, which again I still have a lot of AEW shirts, I'll be wearing them for the wrestler and not the brand. Simple as that. Simple as that. Because
Yeah.
again, I will support every wrestler that goes out of AEW and does stuff, and stuff that I think is cool. So like whatever Osprey's doing, I'll check in and see what he's doing. Kenny,
Yeah.
I'll check in what Kenny's doing. Konosuke, because he's in Japan, New Japan as well. I'll check on him, see what he's up to, and stuff like that. But I won't be watching weekly or anything like that. Like I'll just check in here and there and see what's going on. But that's as much as you're gonna get from me. You ain't gonna get me watching a
Yeah.
dime. I'm not gonna pay for the pay-per-views anymore. I used to pay for them. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm just gonna focus on TNA pay-per-views at this point. Focus on that and WWE stuff. There's no point. Like there's no point in supporting and paying for pay-per-views. And again, not to say the pay-per-views are banger because they are. But what's the point of watching the pay-per-view when your TV is and your stories are trash? What's the point? There's no point. There's no point. There's no point in watching AEW pay-per-view if their shows are trash or garbage. So, but yeah, that's basically a wrap on this conversation. We just had to let it out. We're sorry we've been ranting and not talking about Raw, but we had to let it out today. Today was the day we had to let out all of our frustrations because we're tired of it. Manny can say it himself. We're tired of it. We are tired of hearing All Elite. We're tired of it. So it's done. It's over.
Yeah.
No more. We're not gonna bring this up anymore.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys enjoyed that rant because that's been built up for a couple weeks. I can't lie to you. It's been built up for a while.
Yeah, it's been a build up for like the past 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
For me at least, but
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, just to finish it off, we're tired of what AEW has done.
Yeah.
To talent, to the fans, it's just a toxic environment, and until that gets better, or unless something happens that's gonna bring us back to the product, I'm not interested, and Brian is definitely not interested in watching it until things get better.
I was one of the few that would at least buy the pay-per-views every month when they would do it. Because they only do it like every 2 months or so. I'm not even doing that. I can't even do it. I can't spend it. I can't do it. It's too much. I can't do it. I'd rather spend 40 plus on TNA plus pay-per-views. I'd rather do that because I know I'm getting my money's worth. Genesis, I spent like $40 on Genesis. I'm glad I did. Cause you know why? Because the show was quality. Manny could say, the show was quality. And we've already planned that we're going to watch the next one together. Because we done fucked up. Because we were a little scared about the product. But after that pay-per-view, I was like, Manny, we got to watch the next one. And Manny was like, yeah, let's do it. I agree. Let's do it. So, I'm ready for the next TNA pay-per-view, which I believe Sacrifice is next. And then we'll head to Rebellion.
Yes, sir.
So, you will get some TNA reviews from us. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun, I can't lie. and it's gonna feel better because we're gonna be energized. We're gonna be happy about it. And don't get me wrong, like I said, like I explained before, you're gonna have your Ash by Elegance and your people you don't like, the controversy
Yeah.
with Tessa, but we're gonna just address it head on and be like, hey, if the product's good, hey, we good, we good. Like I said, like Tessa impressed me at at Genesis, man. Like she she went for it all, bro. Like her and Jordan had a fantastic match. But I was excited to talk about that more because Tessa and Grace did some amazing things. So, but again, you can say again, like I said, the Tessa thing has a lot of potential. She's gonna talk tomorrow as well. I forgot to say that. She's gonna be there tomorrow. So we'll get to see what's next with Tessa Blanchard after being Jordan Grace. So
Oh yeah.
but yeah. So yeah. So real quick, we're not gonna do the simulation thing. We're just gonna run through Raw real quick
Yeah.
because we've taken
At
too
this
much of your
point, yeah,
time.
no, because we've been
Yeah.
ranting
All right. So
for the past
so
2 hours or
we'll
an
do
hour and a half.
we'll do a quick little run through.
Yeah.
So what started off? What was the first promo? It was Jey Uso and Gunther. Fantastic promo.
Well,
I'm excited for this match for Saturday Night's Main Event. I'll be doing predictions for that tomorrow.
yes.
Love the back and forth with Gunther kind of roasting Jay, but then Jay answering back with that passion and being like, "Oh yeah, I'm a tag wrestler, I'm a mascot, I'm not supposed to be here, I'm just a merch guy." He's right though, because dude sells hella merch, dude is hilarious, dude is popular. But Gunther's right. Can he get serious in the ring? Well, Jay thinks so.
Yeah.
And after that promo happened, it turned into a massive brawl. Gunther and Jay went back and forth. Jay won the brawl. He held the title up on his shoulder and then dropped it right in front of Gunther, basically saying,
Yeah.
"Come and get it." But we love that type of shit. Really good stuff. Fantastic
Yeah.
work. Gunther is amazing on the
Good
mic, and there's
story.
nothing more. There's nothing
Yeah.
more to that.
And not only that though, which we're gonna talk more about this tomorrow, but a lot of a lot of things could happen with this decision. Could affect both sides.
Oh my god,
So
yeah, 100%.
we'll talk about that tomorrow.
That's gonna be a fun conversation to have.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
it's gonna
fun.
be a good discussion.
That's gonna be a fun conversation to
we gotta
have.
break that down.
Who wins that match? That's gonna be a fun conversation. So I'm excited to talk about that. Then we had our first match: Rey Mysterio versus Kofi Kingston, the new Kofi Kingston, the heel Kofi Kingston, with heel Xavier Woods at ringside. What do I mean by heel New Day? Well, every time the New Day music plays, they say shut that shit off, turn that shit off. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to see the colors. Bro, they're not even wearing colors anymore. They're just wearing jeans and clothes. It's a new era. It's a new era for the New Day. Nothing more. But Ray had a hell of a week last week. Ray had the stuff with the New Day, but then Ray also had to go to SmackDown to fight Kevin Owens because he was in San Diego. So him and Kevin Owens had a match. Banger, by the way. I recommend it. Great match. Kevin Owens got the victory and almost dropped Ray on his head. Thank God Cody Rhodes saved. But I'm just saying, it could have got really bad for Ray. This match was fun too, though. There was even a crazy botch in the match. I think Manny saw this. It it's hard to explain. It looked like it was a botch, but it turned out
Yeah.
better than expected because it turned into a powerbomb anyway. Because Ray did the whole rotation. It was weird. It was a weird botch.
Yeah, it was like a mini power bomb, but again,
But when it looked like it was
timing
supposed to be a
off on
full
that
power
one.
bomb. Yeah, it was going to be a full
Yeah.
power bomb. But Ray, since he's so small, I guess Kingston's hand kind of slipped, and Ray had to do the rotation anyway. And Ray still did the rotation like if he got power bombed. So kudos to Ray, and they made up for it. I will say though, I think you can agree with me here. Kofi's aggression was really something I saw in
Yeah,
this
it was a
match.
highlight. I think it was a
Yeah.
highlight during the whole feud. That, yeah, no, Kofi. It was just more aggressive, more in tone. His strikes and
Yes.
everything, especially his clubbing blows. But this is what I wanted. This is what I believe you wanted as well. We both wanted
Yeah.
was to see a more aggressive New Day, and I believe we're gonna get it in this amazing story.
We are.
So I'm
It's
interested.
already shown. Like, yes, does
Yeah.
Kofi still do the high flying stuff? Yeah, he does. There's a few
Yes, yeah,
spots
he
where he
can.
flies, like he does the frog splash, he does
Yeah,
the high flying to the outside, but
the double axe handle
the double
back in
axe
the day.
handle, like he still does all that. But you
Yeah,
could tell he's really focusing on the heavyweight side, where he's just aggressive. Elbows, strikes, punches, kicks, like he's bringing more of that. He's not really bringing the high flying like how he usually does, where he's all over the place high flying. He's still doing
Yeah.
that, but he's being more grounded base. Almost like when Ospreay had to change to heavyweight and had to ground himself. He can still do it, like he does it on a daily, but he's more of a striker at the end of the day. Like that dude be hitting everybody. So it was kind of that, which
Yeah.
was really interesting and different to kind of see. But
Yeah.
these two had a great match. Also, John Bradshaw Layfield was on commentary
And
as well.
technically, also, speaking of the match as well, is I did research this. Is that this is their second match in 17 years since the last time these two fought.
Whoa.
17 years.
You would have think that would have been a field day for Vince, because Vince loved booking cool matches in a way when he was good. And Ray and Kofi was not considered? That's surprising. You would think that would be considered, because Kofi and Ray are almost kind of the same person when it comes to athletic ability. Ray is a great high flyer luchador, and Kofi has kind of lucha style things in him when he flies and he does the frog splash and he does the fly to the outside. But
Yep.
they never considered. That's kind of crazy. Damn.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they didn't.
That's crazy. And this was the first televised one, because they did a recent match, I think, at a house show during the King of the Ring tournament that was last minute, and they had to do it at a house show, but we didn't get to see the match itself. Unless you go look it up yourself. But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if you were in attendance, you saw it. But for the TV viewer, we didn't get a chance to see it. So now they did it on Raw, and it was really, 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 really something else. So really, I really liked the aggression with Kingston and Woods. Ray did get the roll up victory. He did get the victory on Kofi, but then after the match, Xavier Woods attacked, and then LWO came out. I think it was Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde, but then Cruz. Yeah, I think it was Cruz del Toro was near the post, and he got taken out by Woods as they ran up the ramp, going around the ringside area to take out another LWO members. They were on a mission to take them out. Kind of crazy. But yeah, I thought it was a really fun match. Really good first test for the New Day. Good stuff. Next,
Yeah. Amazing match, and with
oh
Ray winning the match
yeah,
in
two
a
back-to-back
very big way.
huge
Huge
victories
win.
after
Huge.
declaring for the Royal Rumble. Yeah, crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
huge win. And to be honest, a lot of people were, upset about that Kofi loss and all that. But to think about it even more, which I was shocked that, Ray was able to win. But to think about it more, it kind of makes sense for the character in a way. Now
It
I'm sure it's not
does.
going to happen all the time, but it
No,
does
no, no,
make
no, no,
sense
no.
for the character to be upset at the system, especially, Rey Mysterio. And I think that this is
Yeah.
going to continue just a bit
Yeah, no,
longer.
no. I think this is going to continue 100%. And I think Kofi losing here, I know a lot of people are very worried it might hurt them. I don't think so. I think it's a good starting point, because Kofi showed his new side. Now we just have to get Xavier in the ring and get them both in the ring and start
Yeah.
getting them some victories. But this is only the beginning of the feud. I think there's a longer program coming up. There's way more to this.
Yeah.
Like, this is not just one match and done. No, there's way more to this. Triple H has got some plans for this, so I said
Yeah.
let it play out. I said let it play out. But hey, that's just me though. During Manny actually, I forgot to tell everybody this. Manny actually didn't have my version of Netflix. He had his own version of Netflix that didn't have the less ad breaks. My Netflix had the subscription where we had more less ad breaks. So I gave him
Uh-huh.
my account. He put his name, and he was able to see promos like in between with Karrion Kross and Scarlett, for instance.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross basically had his mini promo, basically calling out Rollins and Punk and Sami Zayn, and it was
And
in
the less
between the
commercials ran
breaks.
so much smoother, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's why like the first Raw went so smooth for me. It was like one commercial and then back, or blackout and then back to the match. Like it was so smooth. Like it was so smooth.
Yeah.
So appreciate Netflix.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we got a chance to see some of the stuff that you didn't see, like the promos, the
Oh, yeah.
backstage stuff, while people on the other
And
side had
Karrion
ads.
Cross, that's true. That's true. And Karrion Cross is looking like that he's making his part, or trying to take his part into the world heavyweight title scene.
Yeah, it looks like he's starting to try to finally get back to what he was doing previously, which was changing the time zone, or changing the
Yeah.
time, the timeline. That's what it was. Changing the timeline, which is basically going after the big boy title, going after the world, and he's facing potential challengers like CM Punk, like Sami Zayn, like Seth Rollins. Like, he wants to fight some of those guys, and I respect that for Cross. Cross, I will give Cross a lot of respect. He's been very patient. He's a very patient guy. He's a guy that's willing to let everything play out. The stuff with the Wyatts, I thought that was really good. The stuff with Final Testament has been good. I hope to see more AOP.
Even though it ended abruptly, I will say that I hope that there's going to be a future direction for the White Six and for Karrion Cross, which I think there will be.
Yeah, no, I think there'll be a future for both. Like for AOP, for instance, I hope AOP goes in the tag division immediately and just starts beating up teams so we can get them from maybe them and the War Raiders. That could be a fun match. So a good way to build them up is just give them some wins. So put AOP in the tag division. Then you have Karrion, who's going to go singles, probably go after bigger guys like Rollins and Punk and stuff like that. And
but
then
I do think the first person might be Sami Zayn.
Yeah, it might be Sami, but then also I did also think about this because he did mention the Miz, but he said no comment. Where does the Miz go in all this? Because Miz is basically done with the Wyatts. He's done. He was with Cross the whole time. He's done with the Wyatts, but he's been trying to get out of the Final Testament for months at this point. So I don't know if he's staying with the group and just being around, or he's got other plans, but we'll have to figure that out. I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with the Miz. We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, nice little promo from Cross, kind of setting his tone and what he's gonna do. Very nice. Next we had the Sami Zayn promo. Speaking of Sami Zayn, this was a really good promo. This was passionate. This was fantastic. This was the Sami that we've been wanting to see for a while, and I get it, honorary use, helping Roman, helping Jay, helping Jimmy, helping the family. I get that. But at some point, you got to do something for yourself. I mean, Jimmy is trying to go for US. Jay has got a world title match. Roman has got the Ulafala, and it's going to be acknowledged on the 27th. You got to do something for yourself, Sami. So Sami does the logical thing. Enter the Royal Rumble with one of the hardest fields in the camp. Guys like Cena, Roman, Drew, Seth, Punk, now Sami, and Ray. Now get in. So that Rumble continues to fill up very quickly. Continues to fill up. So really good stuff there with Sami. And then Kevin Owens comes out, his best friend. And Kevin Owens kind of, an interesting way, does a dilemma almost. It's like, hey man, I know we best friends and stuff, but do you have my back? And at first we were like, he's kind of saying some facts here. Like, he's speaking factual statements.
He says that he believes in Sami Zayn. He believes that he can win the Royal Rumble. He believes that he can become world champion. But he says the only way to do that is in a way, even though Kevin Owens is not implying though, but he says, do you have my back when it comes to helping me defend my world title so that me and you can go 1v1 at Mania?
This is the craziest thing about it, is this is the first time KO doesn't say, he does say I'm the world champion, but he doesn't say I'm the world champion, and then if Sami says no, it's Cody Rhodes, he hits him. Like, he wasn't there for that. He kind of showed that friendship bond in a way, and not dropping Sami on his head, which was very surprising. I thought he was gonna, and Sami knew it already, because Sami's been watching KO off the top of the eye. He's been watching very closely, because KO's been like, hey, I want you to basically he's basically been wanting everyone to say, he thinks he's the world champion, but then he's not, and people say Cody Rhodes, and then that pisses him off, and he just goes on a rage. He just goes on a monster rage and just destroys everybody. So, but he didn't do it with Sami. He said, nope, not gonna do it tonight. Not tonight. Stay real, and we're just gonna talk. We're just gonna chat it up, that's all. We're just gonna talk.
Yeah.
So,
a chat between friends.
Yeah, chat between friends. And now the dream in the world is out there. If Sami could somehow win the Royal Rumble, Sami vs. KO at WrestleMania for either both titles or whatever title KO gets for the title. That could be kind of a cool thing. next we have a women's match. It's one of the few women's matches. I'll run through this one real quick. Bailey and Nia Jax. Bailey has returned to Raw. As I predicted, I said Bailey will be going to Raw, getting a fresh start. She's now on Monday Night Raw. But Bailey's been everywhere recently. She went to Raw. She's on SmackDown. She also went to NXT with Roxanne yesterday and last week. And they also announced Bailey's going to be doing a tag match with Julia next week against Cora and Roxanne. That should be a fun one. And then Bailey had to work with Nia on Monday. Basically, Nia did attack Rhea Ripley in the beginning of the show while Rhea was walking into the arena. She got taken out. So then Bailey and Nia went at it. Again, really competitive match. These two usually basically don't have too many bad matches, and this was another solid one. They have great chemistry in the ring. And very good stuff there. Again, a lot of people were a little weirded out that Bailey did lose her Raw return. But I think they did it for good reason, because I think it's leading to Nia Rhea, which it is. So Bailey did take the loss, but she looked good in defeat. So then after the match happens, it looks like Nia is about to attack Bailey again, but then Mommy comes out and even outs the odds. Taking out Nia, they have a big pull apart brawl, bunch of security, just left and right, just big, just humongous, just massive stuff.
Yeah. And then Nia announces, Rhea Ripley announces that I challenge you for the world title.
You, me, Saturday night's main event. Boom. Yeah. So there's your women's match. So now, Nia Jax versus Rhea Ripley for the women's title. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Braun Breaker versus Sheamus for the IC title. And Jacob Fatu versus Braun Strowman in a monster fight. What a hell of a card. Oh my goodness. That card looks elite.
I think this is definitely might be the better card than the first revamped episode.
Absolutely. It has way more going forward. Like, the first one was probably just like the early test just to see how it would go, and it went smooth. It went really well. But now they're stacking the deck. Like, all right, we're gonna add some good matches to this, and oh my god, they did incredible stuff. After that match, we got the Penta match. Who did he fight this week? Pete Dunne. Yeah, Pete Dunne. Butch. Butch.
The Bruiserweight.
The Bruiserweight. So, I don't know if this has been a funny story, but they low-key disrespected Pete on Netflix. They cut his mic off halfway through the promo.
Hilarious. They done messed him up. They treated him like a Butch.
Oh my god. I think it was done on purpose. I don't think he's getting buried or anything. I think it's just done on purpose. I think it was just a joke. I think it was just a joke. But I thought it was hilarious. And they actually added something to Penta's entrance. They added a spinning pyro, like almost like a fan, that looked epic in the background with the fire in the back. Like, Penta's entrance just got that upgrade. It's great. But Penta did another amazing match. Yeah, another fantastic match between Pete Dunne and Penta. These two have fought before. They fought in Red Pro in 2017, so they have fought before.
Oh, yes.
But their first WWE encounter, magnificent.
Was amazing. And honestly, personally, you could tell in that match, Penta was very smooth and much more comfortable.
Oh, yeah, definitely not his nerves. Even though him and Gable cooked, you could tell the nerves were there. There was a lot more botches. It wasn't as smooth.
There was a few botches, not much.
This time around, smooth. Smooth as ever. No botches. He was using the joint manipulation. Pete was targeting the arm and the hand and kind of trying to break those limbs. Set up for the bitter end. Again, it didn't work though because Penta hit a Mexican Destroyer. He hit the high fly move. He hit the Mexican Destroyer. He hit the Sacrifice, that really epic arm breaker that's brutal. And then obviously a high-end Penta driver, of course, for the win. And Penta is 2-0 on Monday Night Raw. But he did say in a promo backstage, he's not only coming for all, he did throw a couple of shots, it seems like, to what's next. Because obviously Ludwig Kaiser challenged him, I think last week. Yeah, last week he challenged. So Penta might be eyeing Ludwig Kaiser as his first feud, which is a solid first feud. Ludwig Kaiser is a guy that I think is a future IC champion. So I think that's a great first feud for Penta. Ludwig versus Penta? It's a banger match right there. Ooh, that's something I can get behind. That is fantastic. So, but Penta did throw out there is not just going to be him doing matches every week. He wants to do some win. He wants to win gold. He has a lot of goals in mind. That's the word, goals. Um,
Yeah.
which is respect, because again, you want to have that motivation to get to a title. Which Penta with a title in WWE would be wild. That'd be insane. So I respect
Yep.
it. I respect it. But yeah, really good stuff there. Then we had a little promo. Logan Paul will be on Raw as he will make his Netflix in-ring debut. Yes, it is not a segment. It's in-ring. Like he's actually gonna fight. He's gonna fight. Like he's gonna wrestle. We don't know who. Again, we don't know who. But Logan Paul will be fighting next week for the first time on Netflix. You know, usually I'd be like, I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm actually weirdly excited. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I'm weirdly excited about it. Because again, I've said it before. Logan, talented as hell as a wrestler.
Yep.
Like,
Same
oh my
here.
god, talented. And I will say his promo game is not bad either. Like, it's solid. It's not bad. It's not. It's definitely better than before. Before he was very green, but this time around, I could definitely tell he feels very comfortable. So, and a comfortable jackass because he's a heel. So that's who he is. But yeah, I think his in-ring uh, return or debut on Raw should be a fun one. We'll see who he fights next week. Next, during the initial ad break, we had a CM Punk promo, and the thing that it took away from it was Punk threatened to toss Hogan's dusty ass over the top rope and kill Hulkamania for good.
That was
uh,
funny.
that was
That
the
was
thing that it
funny.
took away from it. But I liked how fiery Punk was. Like Punk was like
Yeah, no,
just
he's
cut
determined to win this
oof.
Royal Rumble, and he's determined to main event WrestleMania for the very first time.
Yeah.
Dude.
He
Oof.
also teased in
Yeah,
cashing in that favor Reigns zones him, which again that
yeah.
word favor pops in again. An
What
interesting
is the favor?
scenario. Well, they are going to meet in the
Ooh,
Rumble,
excuse
so
me. Damn.
maybe we'll figure that out. But again, he did say favor once again, so we'll see what that is at some point.
Yep.
But really good promo from Punk. Then we have Damage Control versus Pure Fusion Collective. Again, I had no expectations going into this match, but Zoe Stark threw a mean ass drop kick. That drop kick was clean. As Cole said on commentary, a sniper. A sniper is a very good word for
Yeah.
that. Yeah, shout out to Starks with that epic springboard dropkick. Uh, you could tell the fans are all behind Io, and that's why she's in my top running of like potential winners of the Royal Rumble for a reason. Like I see why. Like fans are behind Io Sky. Every time she gets in the ring, she gets the biggest reactions. So I see why everybody's behind Io right now. And yes, Damage Control did pick up the victory. Nice bounce back win after Dakota falling short for the women's IC title, which also Lyra did have a little vignette. She was not there tonight, but she had a little vignette about her winning the women's IC title. It would be interesting to see what her run's going to look like um, and everything like that. But nice little win for Damage Control. Decent little women's six-man tag before the Rumble. Decent stuff. Nothing crazy, but decent. Now on to the
Oh
last
yeah.
thing. The main event. The WrestleMania rematch. Seth frickin' Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. And my God, this match, Cook. This was fantastic. You can't go wrong with these two. I said it again. These two have the best chemistry in the world. You can't go wrong with these two. But my God, these boys had a match. This was back and forth. This was fantastic. Counter after counter was amazing. Um, you know, like Rollins went for the did the superplex Falcon Arrow, but then it got turned into a Mitsunaku driver by Drew. Like, the like the crossface and the breakout into the future shock. There's so many good spots in this match. It was really something. Like Rollins and McIntyre. If there was one guarantee I could say, those two can't have a bad match. I could say that with a straight face. Those two can't have a bad match. So shout out to Drew and McIntyre for the WrestleMania rematch. It lived up to the hype. It did. It was fantastic. It was a great main event. Another great main event to end Netflix this week. It was really good stuff. At the end of the match, McIntyre was about to attack Seth Rollins, but then Sami Zayn came out, and it looked like he was about to haluva kick McIntyre, but he accidentally hit Seth, and it was not on purpose. It was a mistake. Generally, Drew moved out of the way. So now there's a little heat between Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. There's a little heat there after what Sami did. So Sami's gonna have to explain to Rollins that it was a mistake. But again, Rollins is so fired up and everything, he might think it was on purpose and might start questioning Sami, which is an interesting story. So very, very, very strong story elements going into the Rumble. Very interesting friendship kind of story between Seth and Sami. Telling a nice little story there. I'm intrigued to see where that goes. Seth Rollins did also pick up the victory. I forgot to say that. Rollins picked up the victory with a roll up, not a clean victory. So Drew was pissed. And that is my thoughts on the main event.
Yeah, no, pretty great main event. Amazing, honestly. Probably better than, probably almost equal to their main event to their match at Mania in a way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because both men delivered, and I was a little shocked with this because I thought this was gonna end in DQ, but that wasn't the case. Seth took a big one in this one. Yep. But I'm so interested to see what is Drew McIntyre's reaction gonna be next week.
I 100% agree. We already call it Crash Out season. Is Drew gonna crash out again?
It's two back-to-back losses. Two back-to-back. He lost to Jay in the first on Netflix's first day.
He lost to the man.
Yep, and now he's lost to the visionary Seth freaking Rollins
in the WrestleMania rematch. Yeah,
insane.
So now, let's see where Drew goes. Again, Drew's already declared for the Rumble, so it's not helping his case with momentum. But again, one win could change everything. So just a note. And yeah, that's basically Raw in a nutshell. Raw Netflix was fantastic again this week. This is why we always talk about it. Yeah, generally just awesome stuff. WWE just continues to do so well with their story, especially going into Rumble. Sure, I am very intrigued what the mid-card for the Rumble will look like, because a lot of the mid-card is actually going on Saturday night's main event. So we'll see what they do in the next couple weeks. But other than that, I'm excited for the Rumble. I'm excited for the women's. I'm excited for the men. I'm excited for the Cody Rhodes Kevin Owens ladder match. I'm excited for the people in it, so like Punk, Cena, Roman, Drew, Sammy, Ray. I'm excited for all of them. It's going to be loaded this year. I'm excited for Penta. I've been liking what they're doing with Penta. They're kind of just giving them good matches to kind of build them up. I like what they're doing there. The stuff with the women's stuff, decent stuff with Nia and Rhea. I'm looking forward to their rematch at Saturday night's main event. The Sammy promo was so interesting with KO. It had me thinking a lot. So that was a good one. I like the new aggression of the New Day. And then the Yeet Man and Gunther had a really nice starting promo for the night. So overall, yeah, really good stuff. Netflix was really good again. And we'll definitely be talking about more Netflix next week. Especially since 2K stuff is supposed to be dropping that week. We will be covering that live. We'll be talking about that. No worries, we got y'all covered. If y'all any gaming heads, we got y'all covered. So we'll definitely cover that as much as we can.
And officially announced, and if Brian, if that's okay if we announce this, but on the last day of 2K24,
yes,
we will be doing something.
We're going to be doing something. Now, we're going to keep it close to the chest for now. Yes. But to give you an idea of what to expect a retrospective on the 2K24 itself, and expect our expectations for what we have for 25. Expect almost like a farewell almost. That's what I would say is the expectation. Even though it's not really a farewell, it's more of a hello 2K25. Expect kind of a farewell. We're basically going to be talking about the ups and the downs, and we're going to go into that deeper, and we're going to see where we're at. And again, we'll also even throw in some 2K25 information, and we'll explain what we think about the information and kind of our reaction. It's going to be a fun day. It's going to be a fun day. I got a lot of farewells to do. My friends want to do a whole fun match farewell, and I got this. Yeah, I got a lot that day. But I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm very, I would say, open-minded. Yeah, open-minded is the word. Yes. I wouldn't say closed-minded or pessimistic. I wouldn't say that. I'd say more open-minded this year because I have so many good games coming out. If 2K is just decent, I'm fine with it, honestly.
Oh
That's why I'm
yeah.
more open-minded than ever. Because usually I'm very close-minded and kind of like, damn, 2K sucks. I got nothing else to play. Not this year. There's many games coming out. So I'll be
Oh
fine if
yeah.
2K is just all right. It's fine by me. But it would be cool to play with the new roster. I'll give it that. It'd be cool to play with the
Oh
new
yeah.
roster. That'll be fun.
Oh for sure.
That'll be fun to do.
For sure.
But that's it. Thank you all.
Thank
Uh,
you guys for tuning in.
thank you guys. It more feels like it's basically it's been like 4 hours. It's only been 2 hours. Surprising. I'm very surprised. But
That's crazy.
but yeah. Thank you guys. Hey, we'll see y'all tomorrow for our first predictions test for
Yes,
Saturday night's main
sir.
event. We'll be doing full predictions, breaking down everything. We'll have a system. We'll have a list. Each of us will pick a match and we'll talk about it. And we're gonna have some fun tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a normal episode. No more ranting from us. None of that. We're gonna have a normal day, just talking
Unless
about
we have to.
WWE.
But
Okay, if we have to about something, sure, but I don't think we're gonna have to be ranting too much.
no.
Tomorrow's gonna be main focus, talking about Saturday night's main events card. That's what we're gonna talk about. So, thank you guys so much. We appreciate the love and support. Hit that like button. Let us know
Yes.
if you want us to talk about anything else that's non-wrestling related. We could always do that in the future. And
Yep.
also, we appreciate you all and the love. We've been loving this journey so far. We're only 3 episodes in, but I'm loving. Just it feels more fresh. I don't feel like I'm like restricted, and I'm very nervous. I feel so comfortable, and I appreciate the support. Um, and hey, 25 views on the last one. Let's see if we can get that up because I think that could. I think we can go higher than that. But I appreciate all of you.
Yep.
Thank you all. Thank you, Manny, for being with me today.
Yep, of course. And to the future, to many more. And please make sure to subscribe and tune in for more because we ain't done yet. This is just the
No,
beginning
no.
for us. This
This
is
is
just the beginning.
just the beginning. So, thank you all. We appreciate your time.